Hello, everyone. My name is Rodrigo. I play for Aiden, the Human Blood Hunter, here in the Benefactor. And welcome to Chaotic Neutral Games. Really glad you guys decided to tune in to this small stream we have. Um, I'm starting the intro today, and not Simon, because some of you may have heard this is going to be Aiden's and by extension my last session here on the Benefactor. It's purely due to because I'm going to be leaving the country fairly soon. I'm going to be going to Australia. It- yes, I might be crazy, but you never know where life takes you, I guess. And the time difference between Australia and the UK, where most of the players are stationed at, is fairly extreme. So sadly, I won't be able to play D&D again unless I'm willing to piss off some of my roommates, which I don't want to do. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that, and I want to also take this time, since I'm doing the intro, to give some shout outs to people that I think really deserve the shout outs. For one, I really want to promote one of my best friends, who's also a DM and also a really good artist, who Blue Kev 2 on Instagram. He did the art for Aiden a while back, and it's really good. And I would really appreciate it if he is, if you guys go follow him. He I was talking to him yesterday, and he actually said he did it. He hasn't started like doing commissions yet because he doesn't have enough. He thinks he doesn't have enough followers. So if you could please do me a favor, go follow him. Start is really good, and please throw money at him. Um, I also wanted to give some shout outs to some friends that I have that I think really deserve the exposure. At Writing Pun on Twitter is a really good artist, a really good writer. They they have something I wish I had, which is fucking like a bunch of creativity and like a drive to do. They're always doing something. They're always drawing something, and I really wish they could get more attention. So that's at Writing Pun on Twitter, and as well, I want to give shout outs to another great artist, which is at Blind Shot on Twitter. Blind with a Y. So it's BLYND shot on Twitter. Another great artist used to be. I used to play D&D with them. They're really good. Um, so yeah, if you could just go follow them and maybe throw some money at them, I would really appreciate that. Um, and that's pretty much all I wanted to say. So let's just jump right into episode 60 of the Benefactor, not 61. That was Simon's error. And I hope you enjoyed the stream.
Hello, everybody, and thank you very much for Rodrigo for the start. I know that it was he was panicking the entire time, but that's how you do it. You just jump off the cliff, dude. Get in there. Um, and it's been an absolute honor playing with Rodrigo. And I know I've mentioned it before, but this is not the end. This is the end of the regular stuff. But we will be doing more stuff with Rodrigo, and we'll be doing more with the Canelm family as well. They are the Van Helsings of Valeria, and when we end up putting together a one shot, it'll probably be on a weekend when we've just got up first thing in the morning. Oh my god! And Rodrigo's kind of close to going to bed, but we will make it work at some point where we will get together and do some undead killing, vampire slaying one shots with the Canelm family, where all of us will be playing members of the Canelm family. So yeah, looking forward to that. And it was one of those things when Rodrigo told us that he was leaving. I was like, make something, make a kind of promise in your head that you're going to write something to keep this beautiful boy in our lives. So that is exactly what we are doing. Anyway, happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I'm not a big fan of the whole Hallmark stuff, but celebration of love and celebration of things that we hold dear and these wonderful, wonderful people that I'm playing this game with. Yeah, I'm celebrating Valentine's Day the right way right now. And so is Ostagal. So let's jump in with that, shall we? The air grows crisp with the promise of winter's chill, and yet the sun beats down bright and beautiful upon the streets of Ostagal. The city is in a good mood. Children are running errands with brightly coloured objects in their baskets. Some people are shooting each other conspiratorial glances, whilst others are grinning with mirth-filled men. Striding down the street with a purposeful energy first thing in the morning is a lone farewell barebones with his hand firmly clasped on his bag of holding. An elven bard catches his eye and gives an intense, suggestive. The bluish blush creeps over the Genassi's cheek. He pauses embarrassed for a second and enters a nearby doorway. Nick, over to you. What is Farewell doing?
He will very, very quietly sneak back into the Hall Cananas as he's been up long before anybody else is, and he'll walk up towards the corridor where all his friends are staying, and out from his bag of holding for each of their rooms, he will slide an envelope under the door before turning back around, going down into the dining area where they all tend to sort of congregate. On the bar, he'll set out a nice little basket with gnocchi and all the staff's names on it, with full of nice sort of little things and trinkets for all of them. And considering we're the type of assholes that, because we've only ever sat at that table once, we consider it to be our table and nobody else can sit at it. We'll go over to said table, and at each of the pre-assigned seats, because of course, Eclipse likes to sit near the end just in case she wants to slide off and go somewhere, and Glory likes to be sat in the middle because of course she is the center of attention, and Aiden also likes to be sat at the end because, it's an excuse for him to run away very quickly if he needs to. Farewell will set out just a little parcel on each one of their seats. Before moving his way back into the kitchen. And as whilst he's doing this, if anybody was to hear him or listen to him, you would get the sound of like a very happy stream. It's the only way that you could describe it. It was like, a very gentle, where you get those wonderful videos that you can hear where it's got the river running in the background, and, that sort of idea that's just noise that's coming out of him as he naturally, in common, can't hold a tune to save his life, but is incredibly grateful for the fact that in his natural primordial, it doesn't matter what you sing, it matters how you're feeling whilst you do it. He will go into the kitchen, take off his armor, pop it to one side, roll up his sleeves, and he'll get to work making breakfast for the entire inn as he's cracking away with a big smile on his face and a big song in his heart.
The first person that comes in through the door is Noki himself. And this inn, for the most part, works almost 24/7, but thankfully almost 24/7. And you knew exactly what time to get in there, so things could happen before the early morning rush. Noki comes in, sees you cooking, and he goes, "You realize I'm not paying your wage for this?"
I know.
Okay.
You can sit down.
Really?
It'll be about 20 minutes. Help yourself to something in the basket. Thank you.
He goes, are the things in the basket named for each of the staff, or?
There'll be little items, like for Noki, there's a little bottle of a very nice liqueur, but they will be only tiny little things. Then the majority of the rest of it is sort of just for everyone.
He comes back in with a small bottle, uncorks it, smells it, and goes, "Oh, delightful. Thank you, my friend." And he comes up and actually hugs you from behind. Noki is from a race that is very in touch with their feelings because they are Kalashtar. Kalashtar are empaths, if you remember, so they can feel strong emotions around them. So when somebody likes them, they tend to know. If somebody really likes them, they really tend to know. And so as a result, their culture hasn't really got any of the stiff, repressed, well, Britishness of other races. And so he comes up, just a quick hug, and he sits down and kind of is enjoying watching somebody else do the work instead of him. He
Bear
says,
with me 1 second. I just need to kill the sun that I've just realised is in the background.
Sure, no problem.
We all want to kill the sun,
Murder,
Nick. Don't worry.
murder.
I'm gonna
It
take
is.
this second to do something, and I'm sorry for the stream.
You know, I've lived here for 5 years unless. Oh, am I back?
And we're back. Did you just move us,
Yes,
Felicia?
I remembered it.
That's okay.
So since Nick was gonna do something, I thought we have a few seconds to just.
Yeah. Although, can anybody see?
We've lost
No.
him at the moment.
Rodrigo, come back.
His space is still there.
Yeah.
It's like he's there, but not
You
there.
killed Rodrigo on his last day.
Oh no! Come
I've
back.
been here for 5 years and I still can't get the light switch working. It's.
Hopefully, I guess he'll just connect back himself. Does
Yeah.
it says he's still connected? That's the weird thing.
Trying.
He can see us. Tell him.
Oh. Oh.
Give it a moment.
Oh, here we go.
Oh.
No,
Oh.
he
Oh.
didn't.
Yeah.
Hang on.
I moved us again in case that was where the.
Hey.
Cross out it. There we go.
We're in
Anyway.
India instead of South Africa. Everything's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
India. Okay. Yeah, I like it here. It's nice. Noki sits back and he says, "You know, I'm very glad that you didn't get Madeline any of the glow powder. Do you know what happened to her last year?"
No, I was a bit preoccupied.
Well, so she went out to do to get the goddess's blessing. Yeah. So she was with a lovely girl back then. They split up since, so sad. But she decided to go out and do the moonlight walk, and get the blessing of the goddess Sahani, you know, goddess of love. And so she went out there, and she didn't realize that she was actually being tracked by her younger sister. Now, oh yes. So her younger sister had some glow powder on her. I think it was purple, and so they go out there and they're, as the drow say, in flagrante, yeah, and so the sister creeps up on her, takes I don't know how much of this glow powder, and just bang right on the back of her, right in the middle of the act, right in the middle. Yeah, it looks like the goddess it looks like the trickster goddess favored the sister that day. She used so much of it, and you know, it's terrible, that glitter, you know, it's very fine, and it went down into the crack of her ass, I swear to God, right? Her behind was glowing for a solid week. I had to give her 3 days off, but after a while she got so bored she came in anyway and just took the flak. Oh, bless her. She was a good sport about it all, though. And eventually, after the sister managed to dodge several death attempts, they saw the funny side, and I think ultimately it was a blessing on the whole family. As I say, unfortunately, the relationship was not to be. I think the love was there, but what was her name? Katie was going off on one of the ships. She wanted to become a navigator, so they called it there. But they're still very fond of each other. But Madeline now, she's kind of, I don't know. I guess she's waiting to feel as good as she did with Katie. So, but yes, if she sees you with any glow powder, I am not responsible for her slapping you. Okay?
Unfortunately for me, I can just make her glow anyway.
Don't make that thing. Don't think that will make you safe, man.
Oh,
I tell you, she's
no.
got a mean right hook. She's been throwing drunks out of this tavern for longer than you've lived here.
Probably. Yeah. I'm just hoping that for all that's gone on, Cora's not remembered the last year, because my first year here, she thought it'd be really funny to put it in my boots, And yeah, it's not so funny that when you're then giving thanks at the at the temple, and you're supposed to be all penitent, and you walk in barefoot and in humble rags, and your feet are glowing neon pink.
Oh, she chose the pink one. That's the brightest one of the lot.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
Everything from my shins down to my toes go pink for about 2 weeks, no matter what I scrubbed or anything. So
I tell you, Sahastra is my favorite festival. I tell you, it's I don't know, just people just get reminded about how they feel, and well, and he taps the temple next to his beautiful gold eyes, and kind of reminding you of his psionic nature, and he goes, just before sunset, before all the other stuff happens, I go out for a walk, and I open my there's no word for it in common. It's Chico. It's my mind. I open my mind. I guess it's not the same word, but it works the same. And I can feel it. Not the love just for me, but the love for each other, Granted, there's a fair amount of lust. It's a spicy walk, I can tell you. But it's great as the families get ready for the feasting. You can feel the excitement of the those who decide to go trickster instead of going lover, and they are excited, and you can just feel their heart pumping, and then the lovers, the new love, the excited love, the butterflies in your stomach, the hard love, the suffering through the trials of life together, holding on through the storm.
Yeah.
And then what I call the warm blanket love, You've been through the storm, you've seen all that you need to see, you've suffered all that you need to suffer, and if you're not going to break up with all of that crazy shit that life brings you, you're never gonna break up. And that's why it's the warm blanket, because it's never gonna end. Yeah? My mother, she used to say that. She used to say, it's butterflies, the storm, and then the warm blanket, And it just...
It has always been my favourite holiday. I won't lie.
Yeah.
It's one I've enjoyed more than any other as the calendar comes round. It's nice for just one evening not to talk about death, and in a strange way to see the cycle really take its full course. Now,
Well,
let's
highest
talk...
birth rate of the year, my friend, so...
well,
let's...
in a few months, I mean, nature takes
Well,
its
yes,
course, but
anybody who can count back 9 months, 6 months, 3 months, 11 for Goliath. So yeah, they know it was tonight. They know it was tonight.
yeah, but that's all the Pelor lot's problem, not mine. So
Yes.
I take the blessings where I can get them. Now, please.
Corpse is so much easier than babies. Well,
it depends
sometimes.
on the corpses. I'll be completely honest.
Did someone say baby?
No, back in your box, you. No, baby.
Like he says, it's Palor's got that one now.
Left
Now,
it at the
please,
Raven Queen.
Tell me.
Oh, Raven
Yeah.
Queen. Oh, yeah. Actually, sorry, yeah, the Raven Queen's got that baby, yeah.
Yeah.
And you
So
have your
Farewell
own
will-
baby to take care of, so...
Frequently
Farewell
visited,
will-
visited at least once a week.
Okay.
Baby.
Farewell will bring out straight from the oven fresh breads and pastries, and there will be some sort of sweet jams and all that sort of stuff. Some more sort of savoury stuff, lots of fresh fruit, and you'll just load it all up onto sort of the bar top, where everybody can just come and help themselves, and he will be mothering, knocking especially the rest of the ladies that work in there to eat their fill. What's going to happen the moment those three wake up, especially Eclipse. She's going to come through here like a hurricane, and if it's not bolted down to the floor, she's going to try and eat it. She doesn't. She is so hungry in the morning, so please eat first. I've got lots more in the back.
The first through the doors are the washerwomen, the magi domestica, and some of the factory workers who are getting their good hearty meal, big meal, in. And after you've finished preparing the things that you're preparing, Nookie then kind of gets cooking himself and gets the chef in, who's a elderly dwarven woman, who I think she's about in her 90s or something, so she's still got a good 40 odd years kicking around in her. Who start to come in and they start doing eggs and bacon and all sorts of stuff en masse on huge what are they called, skillets, giant skillets. And but your stuff is really well appreciated, and actually the Margaret, who is the chef, actually ends up eating some of the stuff that you prepare before she starts cooking herself, and the pleasure on her face is absolutely, a joy to behold. She does also ferret around and pick out her gift, and she kind of gives you a little bit of a shoulder nudge and a smile as she walks past. As
You're
is
welcome.
People start flooding in, and the hawk and harness goes from being just a few people just staring into their cup to a huge seething throng. But your table, especially after your recent liberation of the city from demonic forces, is left completely untouched. At which point, the other members of the
Our
party
table.
start to wake up. Yeah. At which point, the other party members start to wake up. So, other party members, what are you doing?
It is a
Presents,
very
presents,
special day,
presents.
so it's gonna take a very long time to get ready. The others can go first.
Kate is wondering if she's missed something. Am I meant to know about this festival? Should I have prepared something?
Okay, I can give you guys some
No.
base information. So, we were kind of doing that in the scene. So this is the festival of Sahastra, named after Sahanine, the goddess of the moon, love, and trickery. Okay, she is the goddess of moonlight trysts, of absconding and having weddings under the full moon. Her clerics are very happy to do this if the love is true, because the ceremony will not take otherwise. They do secret marriages that would otherwise be disapproved of by families or parents or whatever, because they don't give a damn. They're clerics. They just answer to their goddess and nothing else. They're also trickster clerics, and have been known to prank around the city to cheer people up and keep up morale and keep joy in people's hearts. Love, joy, trickery, all represented by the light in the darkness, Sahanine, the moon goddess herself. There are some key features to this festival. So
No, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil
Okay.
it.
Okay.
I don't spoil it.
You're gonna walk that in? Okay, no problem.
Yeah,
There is
that's
one
fine.
part of it that I am going
Can
to
figure it out.
do eventually, but I believe as each of you wake up, there is one or more letters that have been posted under your door.
Okay. Is this normal? Is it a normal activity to give presents on during this festival?
Yes, you are from Freetown, celebrated in Freetown as well. It's celebrated all throughout Illyria. The giving of gifts is the show of the love of friendship. So
Okay.
Friends give gifts to each other. There's also something that if Nick forgets it will be in the letter as well.
Right.
It is absolutely in the letter, and I haven't forgot it. It's deliberately set up for that.
Yeah.
So both of them, yeah. Two items are in the letter, Nick.
So
No. Well, we'll wait until they get to Farewell's letter. I don't know if
Sure.
any of the
Okay.
other letters.
Well,
have
the
it.
first letter that any of them open will turn out to be Farewell's due to plot.
Yeah, well, Cora's gonna spot her letter and open it up.
Okay.
Okay.
Um,
Wait.
so,
Scum. I was
yep.
gonna say,
Just a point of order for Cora. This is not celebrated in the Feywild, but when you wake up, you are feeling well rested, but also incredibly energized because even though it's not celebrated in the Feywild, Enola did say last night when you were in the Feywild that you will be celebrating it tonight.
Okay.
it's alright. I will explain more. Trust me.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm opening my letter. What does it say, Nick?
It's very, very kind. It basically says to my dearest friends, thank you for truly being there for me. I hope this small gift represents our friendship and continuing love for more than just this year. And at the bottom of the envelope is a handmade band of multicolored twine. You think of any color, it's wrapped into there. And there should be one that's big enough for every single person's wrist.
Quite right. It is only one object because of the type of letter it is. Well done.
Yep.
It's not as if I wrote it today. The tradition, that is.
I am
rest is
putting my
Nick's.
bracelet on and heading
Okay.
I
downstairs.
put my bracelet on as well.
And
Because I
this,
assume
this
it's
is
general.
yeah, it's identical for all of you. So each of you, when you open it up, there is a bracelet, and the giving of gifts and the wearing of these types of bracelets are basically the love of friendship and showing that, and they all match. So even though it's got all the different colors, the designs all match.
Yay. Eclipse has some symbolic gifts as well for the rest of the group, because proudly that's a thing. So,
Yeah.
Okay.
some small trinket.
Have I
Ex-
given everyone their new items yet? Because otherwise Glory will probably do it on this day.
Even though it takes you the full 30 days, I will say that you give them. You can give them on this day. So we'll do that later on
Nice.
when we get to the table. And so extra letters. Okay. So the two people who have extra letters are Glory and Aiden. Okay.
So this is an awkward thing. Remember that Aiden hasn't been staying at the Hawk and Harness for the longest time now.
Yep,
Yeah.
and yet when you woke up in
Okay.
your cabin, there was two letters neatly posted under your door.
Alright.
Do you
Okay.
really think you can get away from me, bitch? I've got the power of the god.
Hey, I don't mind. I just thought, oh, it's a bit awkward that he's leaving it under Aiden's door when Aiden's
No.
Oh no.
He went to
As-
the nearest
I know where
shackleman
you
and said,
are.
"Put this under Aiden's door." The shackleman realised what it was and was like, "Absolutely, my friend, absolutely." So yeah, yeah. The shacklemen are, well, okay, yes, they rob, they kill, but you know they have a moral code, and here they are able to let their hair down. So, and they really like you guys. So, very happy to post it under your door. So both Glory and Aiden have extra letters.
Ooh. Well, Rodrigo, you wanna go first, or should I?
No, you go first, absolutely.
Okay. So Glory, you open up your letter, and in beautiful calligraphy, it says, "My vicious and fiery Glory, I have admired you from afar. Your ambition, your power, things that I understand only too well. It is difficult for people like us to get relationships that last. I believe in this we understand one another. I admired you recently from afar, and I apologize that I was not able to make my feelings made sooner. I believe we can be very good for each other. Would you care for a walk? At midnight, perhaps?" and it is not signed. Instead, there is a small wooden token that seems to be hand carved, placed at the bottom of the letter, almost like a wax seal. It's not exactly affixed; it's just kind of there. Now, this part, would you like to explain this part of the tradition, Nick, or shall I?
Which bit?
The wooden token.
No, you can explain that bit. No, I'm quite happy
Sure.
with that bit. There's the other bits that I want to save.
Absolutely, yeah.
They're the fun bits.
So you know, Glory, that in Sahastra, anonymous letters of attraction, affection, usual kind of Valentine love letters, get sent to people anonymously. Sometimes they send them and they say who they are at the bottom, and it's just a general declaration of various kinds of love, various kinds of appreciation. But the anonymous ones have a very special tradition attached to them. In place of a signature, a small coin-like wooden token is normally carved or sometimes burned with pyrography with a type of symbol, kind of almost a signature in its own right. And this one, sure enough, has been carved beautifully to have a heart and a crown carved into the top. So the heart is wearing a tiny little crown. And that's been given to you. And the tradition is that you have to read the anonymous letter and then take the wooden token and give the wooden token to the person who you think wrote the letter.
Oof.
Okay?
Yeah.
If you get it wrong, the person keeps the token and realizes that you think that they love you, and they start searching their feelings as to, okay, does that mean, because by giving the token it means that you're returning their affection. And this is the game of trickery and love of Sahani, in that you could end up giving the wooden token to the wrong person and them going, oh, they like me. And you could end up with somebody completely different to the person who got you the letter. Or, and this especially if you know them well enough, if you return their love, you end up giving the token back to the right person. And if you do, it is said to be a blessed love by Sahani.
Interesting. Yeah, okay.
Rodrigo, you open up the second letter, and to a little bit of shock, this wooden token comes out and goes ding, 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 at your feet. Burned into the surface of the token is a raven. And
Not guilty.
It's now where Farewell professes Islam for Aiden.
I like to think, if that were the case, no, Aiden wouldn't be that mean, but I still like picture him, of Aiden just doing the peace sign and then disappearing like that meme. Just vanishing into the ether.
I hadn't even, when I chose the raven, I hadn't even thought of that. Oh, I almost wanted to write down, Aiden, we've been putting it off too long, denying ourselves our love.
I
Come
will
to me
point out-
immediately.
I point out that you should all know by now that Farewell would be far more formal and far more eloquent than that.
Yeah.
He would
You're
also
getting
manage to
wooed,
be
motherfucker.
awkward in text just because it's a love letter.
No. It will be the most absolutely blown, over the top, completely romantic, like almost Shakespearean sonnet levels of overblown. At which point, when they meet face to face, neither of them can hold a conversation for more than 6 seconds.
Ah.
There's a lot of silence.
Nice.
Anyway,
Fair.
not guilty. Not guilty.
Not
Nothing
guilty.
to do
Yeah,
with me.
definitely not guilty.
Nothing to do with me.
Knowing who you are, Aiden, the note has a certain amount of brevity to it.
Mm-hmm.
The note simply says, I always thought my path determined for me. And now I
Oh.
don't know which path I wish to take. But I know I want to spend it next to you.
Ooh.
I'm taking a while to process this. This is not what I was expecting. This is not what Aiden was expecting to wake up to. For him, this festival is just another holiday he's usually busy in, so he hasn't really celebrated. So waking up to this is like, oh yeah, that's
That's
a
a
thing.
thing.
Okay.
I just put the token in my pocket and I just think on it for a bit.
Sure. So you get up to some letters, and for some of you, there's love interests, but not necessarily letters, because either they are too far away or they don't celebrate that where they are or whatever. But two of you do get it. And you get a lovely one from Farewell and this beautiful friendship bracelet as well. You can smell.
I revealed it. It's Farewell now. It's Farewell.
What's that?
What?
You revealed it now. It is Farewell. You did the slip and said it's from Farewell.
Well, no. The anonymous ones are.
I know,
ones.
Simon.
Yeah.
Simon, I know. I
Yeah.
am.
No, not guilty. Honestly, officially, not guilty.
So, as you open your doors, there is a beautiful smell of cooked breakfast wafting up from the common room below. This has been your life for most of Frostfall. Frostfall is effectively October, and Sahastra is the last full moon of Frostfall. It is the 27th of Frostfall. And for anybody who recognizes the name of the month, it's a tip of the hat to the many, many years of pleasure Bethesda have given me, because it's the Tamriel calendar that I use. And so, yeah. What are you guys going to do?
I am gonna barrel down the stairs and I am gonna give Farewell a huge hug and lots of purring,
No.
and then I'm gonna open my other presents.
Wait. No.
I can just imagine going from purrs and hugs to no, not yet.
That might be in your slot.
I will touch
You've
you,
gotta-
but you
you've
don't
gotta
touch
wait.
me.
Yeah.
You need to wait for everybody, and I have to explain why. You've already had your present. This is something different. So behave.
I'm.
I mean, they're
Alright,
literally
I will.
upstairs. And what I do is I cast sending to Aiden, and I basically, I'm like, Aiden, you need to come to the Orcan Harness. If you don't come to the Orcan Harness, you know what I'll do. I'll send Eclipse to come and get you. Yes, that does mean I know where you are. I'll see you in a moment.
I make my way to the Hawking Harness.
Yeah, because I figured of all the people not knowing where he is, he doesn't want Eclipse to know where he is, even though she already knows where she is, because she's that kind of.
Oh yeah, I am 100%
Yep.
know where he is. I frequently bother him all the
Yep.
time.
Urban bounty hunter, mate. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
As you get out of the cabin, Aiden, you see Bloodwind Bloodaxe playing about with something. She pulls out a gun and says, "Ah, good morning, dear." Points this what seems to be one-handed blunderbuss to the sky, pulls the trigger. There's an almighty explosion. Smoke comes out the end, and this kind of whistling projectile goes up around about 70 foot up in the air, and then explodes in a shower of pink and red sparks.
How haven't you killed someone by accident yet?
Oh, never by accident, dear. Never by accident. Always on purpose.
Fair enough.
And they always
Fair
deserved it as well. I'm very precise in that regard. Okay, boys, we won another 16 of these for tonight. And you can see these artificers just grinding away at this powder.
I just go, Fair enough, and I take my leave.
Yeah, just walk down the gangplank and you're gone. I have to be careful. I nearly went into Maury there. Yeah. Welsh dwarf, Welsh turtle, two different characters. So yeah. Okay.
Both Welsh.
Well, it's better than having all of your dwarves being Scottish. I've got some Yorkshire
Yeah,
dwarves
true.
coming in, but it takes a lot of concentration to stay Yorkshire. So yeah.
The fact
Anyway.
that you can do several voices astounds me.
But they're all British.
So
I can do
different
Better. I
versions.
remember that I tried doing like an Irish accent, and then I cringed so hard I decided that I will never do that again.
Fair.
Well, I've got the notes down for Noki, and it says Spanish/Polish/Russian. So I just kind of it's none of those and all of those simultaneously because I wanted a Kalashtar accent. I didn't want to have just like, oh yeah, they're clearly this and they're clearly that. So it's like, you know what? I can deliberately do bad accents and just say it's intentional.
I
Dun,
don't
dun,
even know
dun,
what it
dun.
says this. I just make sure to roll my R's and that's it.
Yeah.
Notes, roll R's. Yep.
But rolling R's is so easy for people who can speak Spanish or Swedish.
Mm.
Very true. So that's why you do it, because I can. Anyway, back to
Very
game.
tabaxi. Anyway. So, as Aiden walks into the front door, I assume that the last person to come down the stairs is Glory. So, Glory, how are you going to honor your name? What is Glory wearing on the day of love? You are wearing something.
Yes.
Thank God.
Obviously, I am wearing something.
Nope.
It is. Honestly, it's a mixture of what you've already seen Glory in, like the normal pink and black and green. But being Glory, this is a very special day because who doesn't love a day of love? But basically, first of all, she puts her hair up in the braid that she started doing, but with a lot of fake flowers, or well, real flowers kept alive because magic, you know. Just
Mhm.
making it fancy and cute.
Yep.
And then I have oh fuck, how do you describe this dress? It's a short dress for once. Not a long dress like the other ones she's been wearing at functions and stuff. I actually found it on.
Because she's been doing the whole. Ooh,
Fuck.
oh,
Just hear Felicia going, fuck,
there
fuck,
we go.
fuck.
I think she pressed Discord on her phone. Is
No,
my
I
guess.
opened Discord on my phone and it automatically connected, and I got
Yep.
pissed.
Rip,
Yep.
rip.
So up until now, you've mostly been doing either the kind of skirt with the slit up the side, or you've been doing the thing where you have the, I don't know what it's called, I call it a curtain, where you have the kind of long bit in between and it shows off both legs simultaneously. I apologize, my wardrobe knowledge is terrible, especially when it comes to women's wardrobe. So yeah. I learned certain things like bustles and things because I need it as a DM, but there's things like, what is that? I can describe it, that's about it.
Yeah, I have the other one. I can draw it, but I can't describe it.
Yeah. I love that
But
one
anyways,
friend
I
called
have,
it a crotch curtain, and I was
sent-
just apoplectic. It was crazy.
I sent you a link. Please describe it for me because I can't.
Oh, right. Okay. Ooh. Oh, here we go. Let's have a look. I have...
And yes, I have a Pinterest board for clothes that Glory would wear.
Oh, okay. So, Glory walks down the stairs in a bustier that seems to be made from gold, either dragon scales or leaves. It's cinched at the waist with some gold chain 3 gold chains on either side that bow around, accentuating her curves, kind of hugging to the butt. Yep, thank you very much, Kate. It's just about showing on Kate's camera. And then the short skirt in front has a number of, 2 pleat layers that come down into 2 gold-edged V's. And then at the back by her butt is a bustle that is made out of, what is that? Not quite sure what that material is, but it's the thin see-through material that
Sheer fabric.
yeah, it's
Just
like a sheer fabric, like a veil fabric at the back. And if somebody can put that Pinterest link on the chat, that would be cool. Anyway, she is looking pretty damned awesome. And yeah, you notice there are a number of other people in the hawk and harness who are dressed up either in general to be admired, because this is a festival in which one can be admired and can enjoy being admired, or it could be that you're dressing for a particular person. One of the nice things is, because both of those functions are out there, you can dress up and no one can really question your agenda. Well, they can, but they shouldn't. Shame on them. So, you're sat around your usual table, and sat in front of you is a present to each of you from Farewell, and with a nod from Glory, Madeline brings out a small wicker basket, like a picnic basket, nods to Glory and nods to the and points to the basket and walks away.
Good. Well then, guys, I have been working on quite a few things lately. It's where I'm so busy. It's ridiculous how much you need to do to get to some stuff here. Either way, I have some new stuff for everyone, and you will wear it.
Are we not going to discuss that? The nod. Nobody else saw that but me.
Yes.
Picnic?
Oh, Glory, have you been doing it with the maid?
No, no.
Eclipse, that's so
She's just been helping me out.
She has
It
a
was
name.
It was you.
I think it was just the way you put it. I mean, this is
always so
Glory.
scandalous when you go for the maid. The maid is always the affair and the everything.
Are you reading
Eclipse,
Glory's books
sweetie.
again?
She. Well,
They're very
so
good,
that
those
you
books.
have been reading my books.
Yeah, well,
A Dragonborn walks past and says to Eclipse, "Someone has been reading way too many saucy novels," and just kind of tips a wink and walks off. This Dragonborn has a really sleek appearance. They're a black Dragonborn, and their scales are kind of stuck to them. For those of you who know what a pangolin looks like, this Dragonborn looks like a pangolin.
Okay.
Thank you, random generator. Carry on.
I mean, yes, I have been reading those books as well, but that was only because you said I should.
Yes, they're very good. Either way, I've finished a lot of things. The big one is for you, Farewell.
Oh?
Wait until you see what I've done to your armor.
Oh, okay.
This bodes well.
Is it made of plants?
Yes, is it made of plants again?
Ooh, burn for those who remember.
That's
Yeah.
not funny.
Cora dips down beneath her present.
Wish I could have forgotten.
I go to all this effort for you, and this is how you repay me. I'm so hurt.
Yes.
You are lucky
Either
that
way.
you're my favourite friend.
You're
I'm
lucky
sorry,
too.
Glory. She's being mean again. Carry on.
Yes. So, I have been working quite hard to enchant it. It worked really easy because you got such a good blacksmith. But you will notice some new runes around the borders of the plates, okay?
Yes.
And they will make it so well, a lot of magic will just bounce off you.
No, that's good.
And in gaming terms, Farewell's armor now has the Armor of Wild Warding feature, where the wearer must make when the wearer must make a saving throw against magic, they may roll a d20. On a 10 or higher, they roll the save with advantage.
Ooh.
So this is a wild magic sorcerer enchantment. I went enchantment crazy about a year ago and wrote a whole mess of enchantments based on the classes, and this was one of the sorcerer ones.
Well, thank you, Glory. That's super kind of you. Thank you.
Yes. It will be really good. As for Eclipse, I don't have anything super like super enchanted, but as you wanted. Wait, did Eclipse get that cloak on her own, or did Glory get it for her? I forgot.
I got the cloak
You
on
got
my
the
own.
cloak, right?
You haven't got the cloak yet. The cloak is in the bar.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Yeah. Well, we discussed this last week, so it's fine. But yes, your
Spoiler, anyways.
enchantress was Glory.
Oh no. Oh, okay. Because I thought I just got it from the Thieves Guild. I sourced it.
You arranged the reagents from the Thieves Guild, but Glory's been tinkered and has made it her own. She's made put a personal mark on it.
Okay.
And made it fashionable.
Not living and breathing this time, I hope.
No. It is really nice and complements your eyes. Here, take a look at it. So, I had to embroider in the corners, but the entire cloak, when it's dark outside, will give you the powers to turn into a bat.
Is it currently dark in the tavern? Is it considered dim light
Unfortunately,
somewhere?
no. No.
Aw.
The dim light is either nighttime or deep in a cavern, basically. So unfortunately, no. Unless you're willing to go into the sewers right now for the most underwhelming first flight,
No.
You're gonna have to wait.
wait until tonight. So yeah. Although you don't want to go flying tonight, the things you'll see. Anyway, enough.
As for Cora, I was torn on what to make you, but I have got you this period of wound closure that I thought either you would wear or you would decide if Farewell will be wearing it, as I know you you've been very busy trying to make sure he doesn't go down. This thing basically makes it so that if you're gonna make a saving throw, you go up, you stabilize immediately.
Oh, okay. Right. Yes. So you don't have to make saving throws.
Specifically.
Yes.
Saving throws.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Cool.
And Aiden, I know we don't get along, so I have not got you something over extravagant because you would just throw it back at me.
Probably, yeah.
But as you are always so cold, I thought you would like this shawl, which changes shape and style depending on what you want it to look like.
Oh. Thanks.
When you pick it up, you do feel like a strange connection with the shawl, and the shawl doesn't require attunement. But whoever it is being worn by, it has a kind of strange psionic link with, and what you see it as being is that, for example, if you were in a bush or maybe lying down on grass, not only could you get it to look stylish or whatever in other circumstances, but you could lie down on grass and turn it into something that doesn't look too dissimilar to that grass. If you were in bushes, you could focus on the color of the bush, and it, even though it doesn't go over your entire body, it's not like a full like poncho or
Yeah.
anything like that. It does your head and your shoulders, and it goes down kind of like a Robin Hood hood, cape hood, and it goes down to around about halfway down your torso.
Mhm.
And what it does is breaks up the silhouette, so it's conditional, but it can give you advantages to hide checks.
Okay. I like that.
Mhm.
I put it on right away.
Sure. And obviously, probably don't put it over your head because people don't wear hoods indoors. But yeah, you put it around your neck, and you kind of imagine how it should look. And as you
Mhm.
put it on, everybody notices that the color and the kind of texture of it changes immediately to match on top of
Okay.
your coat.
Thanks.
Thank you.
And that's
I
Glory.
believe you had something more, Farewell?
Well, yes. Well, 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 um, well. So Sahastra is my favourite festival for several reasons. One of which is that it was my mum's birthday, so she.
Oh.
Oh no, it's fine. And as part of that, Mum always said that if there are people that you care about, you should get them. You should show them. You should tell them. And every now and again, when you can afford to, you should treat them. And as such, I wanted to treat you all. Go on, you can open your presents. Well, don't just
Like
stand there.
like a 4-year-old, Eclipse tears open the packaging.
Oh god. I.
Let's hope it's not
Iden's
precious.
stares-
You rip.
No, no.
Right.
Knowing Eclipse and her
And of
claws,
course.
It's a
But
box
she-
within a box within a box within a box within a box.
Yes.
It's like sticking a knife into a box and being like, "Oh, why is it broken?" Like,
yeah.
It's just a box. It's just one
Yeah.
box.
yeah,
She
that
doesn't-
you then crawl into and be like, "Oh, I so love it."
She just sits
Hey,
in
beat
it.
me to it. Yeah, you give a box to a cat. She ignores everything else. Tries to sit in the box, even though it's only the size of a shoebox. Yep.
That would be amazing.
Absolutely.
Inside Eclipses, there will be a very nicely leather-bound archaeologist's kit, and because he knows she likes hats, a sort of Indiana Jones style hat with two little tailored holes in the top for her ears to pop out of. And what Farrell will do is, if she lets him, is take off the hat of disguise, which she's always bloody well, and will pop this on her head. And it's soft, it's normal, it's got the usual sort of bounce in it that you'd expect a normal leather hat. And he goes to watch this, and he punches it in as hard as he can, right in the top of her head, and Eclipse, it just goes solid on contact, and you feel nothing. It's a hard hat.
It's a helmet. It's great. I love it. Thank you, Farewell.
It's just so good, isn't it? That one took me forever to find. Like, that one was a lot of hard work. There was this weird guy that just kept yelling, "It belongs in a museum," and just kept shuffling around the place. It was very uncomfortable. Anyway, who's next? I'm really sad I'm the only one that got that reference. I'm really upset with you.
Don't worry, dude. You weren't the only one. I was just kind of appreciating it, but not actually.
Who's
Right.
next?
Cora, I guess.
Yeah.
Cora's looking in. Sure.
Well, who wants to go? Go on, someone pick.
Not me then, actually, because I think Cora's started to look at all of the wondrous things that have been dished out and thinking about the stuff that she's got prepared, going, huh.
I got you like a colorful bracelet. I got you a.
Got
No,
her the nicest
you
fish
got to,
you could find.
you got to remember it's
Because you're a cat, and that is a gift that is worth
But
everything.
you're like all brightly colored stones that I couldn't eat.
Yeah.
Just catnip.
you got them, and you thought of us, and that's what this matters. I saw these
Yeah.
and thought of you. That's all that matters.
Oh well,
Anyway,
I will
Glory.
open my present, because who doesn't like gifts?
So, this, and I know this was kind of a thought on a theme, but there's some rather unique enchantments in here. They're a bit unusual, and I thought you just enjoyed reading them. Apparently, it has a strange thing. If you hold it in both hands, you can do something with it. I don't know. I didn't try it. The lady that gave it to me was a little too touchy-feely, and so I left
She
it
was
rather
batshit
quickly.
insane, is what she was.
She was.
Yeah.
She was.
You
feely.
deserve an achievement just for surviving the shopping.
Yeah.
So, but this is for you, and maybe you'll find something interesting in it. I feel it has got a lot of your flavor in there.
Ooh. You do
So,
know
Glory.
I love books.
When you look at the book, Glory, you see a series of shifting glyphs on the front page, on the front cover. The glyphs kind of make sense to you, but they all shift from one to another, and then back again. Usually in a cycle of 3. And you, well, Arcana check actually.
Fair?
We should roll some dice in this game of Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Every once in a
Why
while.
not? You bought those dice, all of them.
An hour and 10
14.
minutes in.
No, wait, that's a 23.
23.
Yeah.
So yeah, your closest decryption of the runes on the surface is enchantments and enigmas, strange curiosities and findings throughout the history of enchantment.
Ooh.
And as
Yeah.
you put both hands on the cover to look at it as you pick up the book, do you know the cantrip prestidigitation?
Yes.
Okay. When you put both hands on this book, suddenly you feel like you've learnt it a second time.
Oh.
And you figure out straight away, especially with that Arcana roll, that anyone who puts both hands on this book at the same time and keeps their hands on the book can cast prestidigitation. Literally, you can give it to any member of the party to hold on to with both hands, and they can cast prestidigitation for any of the effects that's on it.
It's our
if there's
soap!
an effect... Yes, yeah, you can use it for that. The cleaning and soiling effect is a permanent effect, but the if, for example, you were to change the color of something, warm something up, flavor something, put a mark on something, usually something that requires the keeping of not concentration, because prestidigitation doesn't require concentration. You can have 3 effects standing at any one time. You know, if you remove even one hand from the book, the effects will go. Permanent
Yeah.
effects like cleaning and soiling, which is just cleaning backwards. Those are permanent effects because it's just a kind of, like almost a mage hand effect. Those things will stay permanent until someone soils them or cleans them. But the color changing and all the rest of it, you have to keep your hands on the book for the entire time. And that also includes for creating an object, which is really awkward because if you create an object, because you're holding the book, the object appears on the book, but if you remove a hand, the object disappears.
Yes.
So the create object part of it all isn't so great.
No. Okay. Well, that's interesting.
Inside the book is a Simon very quickly on the bus rolled up a huge amount of crazy enchantments. As you flick through the pages of the book each page has twisting sigils, and as you're reading them, you are able to try and discern a minor but random enchantment that will be added to something. And basically, you read the book, you get the effect of the enchantment for a long rest's worth of study, and you can put a temporary enchantment on the item of your choice, but it is the one that kind of comes out of a random rolling table. You don't need any residuum. In some cases, it will use up a spell slot, which charges it, and normally the enchantment will last for 24 hours.
Ooh.
My favorite on the list, because I'm not going to mention them all, but my favorite is the enchantment of flaccidity, where you can, as a joke, go up to anybody's sword or staff or wand, and it will give it the same structural integrity of blancmange, and it will just flap about the place. So if anybody wants to use the sword or anything, the sword turns into effectively a sharp whip. As they're trying to cast a spell with the wand is kind of just flapping about the place and all the rest of it. I was very tired at the end of work, but I still managed to pull that out the bag, and I was very proud.
Because of course I
So,
wasn't.
can I read the enchantment first and then, like, go about my day and see what I want to enchant? Or is it just when I want to enchant something, I have to read it and then it's random?
So the way it works is, during a long rest, you may read this book. I roll on the table. You get a random enchantment. Right then, in the long rest, you can choose an object that is around you during the long rest, and you can apply that enchantment by sometimes expending a spell slot. Some of them are free.
Okay.
And you lose the spell slot for the next day, obviously, because that would be stupid.
Yes.
So yeah, some of them are good, some of them bad, some of them are funny.
Yeah, that's fine. It'll be funny at least to, like, read it and see, okay, what is it tonight? That's
Well,
okay.
It is the Trickster God Festival after all. Farewell wasn't going to give you
Yes.
anything that wasn't a little bit fun. He knows that you've got the love part of this, like, nailed, so he thought that you would enjoy experiencing the trick.
So the enchantments, as I say, you can put them on friends' things. Some of them could be beneficial. Other things, you can just put them onto an object, and if it's a detrimental effect, just give that object to someone you really don't like.
It's a stone that goes right back and hits you in the face.
Yay!
Useful.
Boomerang stone. Bang! Right. Aiden.
Yes. Oh,
Farewell's
right.
just like...
You better
Right,
open it.
right. I open it. Yeah.
Inside, you not only find a brand new traveling pack that is very well made, they will actually be a rather comfortable bedroll in there that you get the sensation that it's probably enchanted in some way. And Farrell sort of just smiles at you and goes, "Look, I know you don't like it here. You don't like it in most places, but at least if you're going to sleep on the streets, I would prefer it if you were warm and dry. And plus, that bag is just depressing. I mean, how it's not fallen apart in the month or so that we've been adventuring, I don't know. I mean, I don't even think the gods themselves could put together how
I
that's
thought it
still
was
working.
enchanted.
It must be
No.
for the fact that it's not
No.
not resolved
Absolutely
through all
not.
the stuff that we've been through. But at least the one that I've given you is a lot better quality and will last probably a lot longer. So this is for you, mate.
Thanks. I really appreciate it.
No, you're welcome. I'm glad you like it.
I am very awkward. Again, is not used to receiving gifts on this festival. So it's like, oh, okay.
Friends? What are friends?
I have never had friends before. What is this?
I've never had this
Basically,
many. I've only ever had one before. I mean, this is amazing, isn't it? I love this festival. It's so good. And he just starts burning holes at Cora, and like the gift that he's given her, he's staring so intently at it. He's like,
So,
Open it.
just mechanically for you, Rodrigo, Aiden now has a thing that he'll carry on in canon, and that is a bedroll of comfort that he had from Farewell. The bedroll, when you are in it, keeps you perfectly dry and keeps you at room temperature no matter what is going on outside. You could be in a desert or you could be in an Arctic tundra, but regardless of where you are, one person and one person only inside the sleeping bag can get a full night's rest, a long rest, by getting in this sleeping bag. You could be in pandemonium with the howling winds and the crazed screaming, and you get into this bag and all environmental effects are ignored and you get a perfect long rest, even if you don't go to sleep.
nice. I don't like that you brought up pandemonium specifically. I feel like that's foreshadowing, and I don't like that.
I'm
it is
thinking
now.
Well, I'm thinking of Matt's amazing one shot where I was just like, oh, if you could just have done a long rest in pandemonium. A long rest in pandemonium is just so wonderful. Everybody wakes up the next morning. The lucky ones only get 1 point of exhaustion. The others effectively going on with like temporary PTSD, and then they have to fight the big bad. It's pretty disgusting out there in pandemonium, and especially considering on my Tuesday game, I'm having to build up challenges for the level 13s that we've got, soon to be level 14s that we've got. They're starting to realize what kind of challenges you get at those levels, and I think this is valid for anybody who's watching right now, whether you're on Twitch or on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, hi, put a comment below. We will answer. We always answer. And hello, Chris, if you got this far. Oh my God. How many is that? That's like hundreds of hours. You maniac. We love you. But anyway,
Indeed,
just thought I'd leave that for the future. Future Chris, yeah. If he gets this far, really, we love you. So at level 13, and certainly level 10 and above in D&D, you end up getting a whole series of challenges that you didn't have before. At low levels, it's your hit points going from X to 0. In level 13, level 15, and all the rest of it, is that all those really nasty spells that you can get, they can get too. And you're having to prepare for things that you just weren't prepared for, like your tank being put into Otterluke's resilient sphere and being kicked off a cliff, or suddenly just throwing your usual kind of patented animate objects at an Abjura, and the Abjura having a sphere of invulnerability, and all the animate objects just losing their enchantment as they pass through the barrier and clanking to the floor. It's like, oh yes, we have thought about this. Oh yes. Even, was it Liam's Tiny Hut? Is it Liam? Yeah, Tiny Hut.
Anyway,
which-
before we're
which is a
derailed
staple.
even more.
Oh no, we're doing D&D. This is D&D. We're doing D&D. Everybody
Right,
thinks that the
did
tiny
you-
hut is good, and then somebody comes along, a bandit comes along and goes, "Oh yeah, you're at level 12 now, mate. Dispel magic," and then the fight is on. So, yeah.
Okay, everyone's at their turn, and she's just sat there very politely going, maybe I'll get to see what I get.
Kate gets to be next.
Well, Simon goes on a tangent.
I'm allowed to go on a tangent. I am DM. I am God. And besides, Kate will get her screen time either way. So, Kate, Farewell is looking at you expectantly, and the very well wrapped gift you can see a lot of effort's been put into. Nick, what is it?
So
That's
what
it?
you will find
Oh.
in your hand is a beautiful white gold inlaid with flowers and ivy on the top. And as you press the clutch to open up the pendant, inside is a painting. On one side, it's a painting of Cora. It's Enola, isn't it? I keep getting the name wrong. Yeah, Enola
Enola,
and Farewell, and then on the other, it's it switches to multiple pictures of Cora and Enola during the several years that Farewell knew them. The interesting thing is they're always sort of from what you think is somebody else's perspective, and it will be moments like intimate moments of the two of them together where they weren't quite realizing that someone had caught those moments, but someone as passively observant as Farewell is, and just noting how much those two very much care about each other, are burned into his memory, and now forever they are captured into the little pendant.
As you take a look at it, Cora, you watch and the image starts to fade away. And the next time you see the image coming back up, you remember the day very, very clearly. You were sneaking medical supplies out of the city proper into Freetown. You'd managed to get them at a decent price. It was effectively a warehouse clearance, but they weren't supposed to come out to Freetown due to some of the rules, some of the tax rules that were being made at the time. You had managed to get the goods through the sewer, and you met Robar Fathram, the Speaker of Freetown, and some of the others on the other side. And Robar immediately took the medical supplies and started dispersing them throughout the community. You remember that after you gave the supplies to Robar, you looked back, and Farewell and Enola had skinned her shin, going through one of the grates, one of the broken sewer grates between the city proper and Ostergald, a route that you had previously plotted but had forgotten that Enola is a good 2.5 foot taller than you. And you forgot that she does have trouble climbing through such things. Phil did pretty well, but his armor saved him from most of it. But Enola was wearing effectively leather shorts, kind of the typical urchin outfit, and thankfully, due to her half-elven nature, used that look to be able to go unnoticed. By the time she had muddied herself up, she passed for any urchin on the street, and she skinned her shin, on this sewer grate on the way through. And you remember looking back from Robar and seeing Farewell hovering his hand over the wound, and the wound closing up as he heals Enola. And he says something to Enola that you never know. To this day, you still have no idea what he said to her. And Enola just suddenly bursts out laughing. And you remember your heart soaring at that point. And this image of Farewell with his hand inches away from Enola's shin, the wound closing up, and Enola laughing is currently on the locket.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I like that one the most.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been planning that one for a long time. I would have done it last year, but we were stupidly busy, and I wasn't quite sure that it was appropriate to give at that time. But then I thought, well, also you've got to give it some time. You put all that work in. But I'm really glad you like it. I love this festival. It's so good.
These gifts are all
Eclipse
so
will give-
amazing.
Well,
Eclipse will
Yeah.
give everybody a necklace which has a nice like semi-precious stone like as a pendant kind of thing to everybody. Nice colors.
thank you.
If
Final
you're
word.
thinking about colors, take a look at the magical girl outfit color.
Yes, it will be the magical girl outfit color. So like,
Oh,
I will get
Yes.
some bright like taupe,
absolutely
like a bright
cursed.
turquoise one.
That's cool. He's
And
very happy.
I will either give Aiden the pink one or like a dark red one. I think he will appreciate the dark red one more than the pink one.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Okay.
Yes.
Final word on
Maybe.
Cora's locket. The longer you keep looking at it, Cora, the more the images change. As memories occur to you and things like that, even subconsciously, the images change. Anybody else who looks at your locket, unless you show them explicitly and say, oh, this was from that time, everybody sees you looking at a blank locket.
Okay.
It's like psychic paper. You see things from your memory, mostly to do with fondness. Farewell knows how it works, so he can see it, but that's only because he bought it and he kind of had it attuned to you. Lowercase attuned. It doesn't count as an attuned
Yeah.
item. Yeah, and yeah.
And loaded it up with a load of images already, because there's nothing worse than getting one of those bloody photo frames with fucking nothing on it.
Oh my god.
Here, fill this.
Triggered me. This is a good time for a break. You have triggered me. So
I do have some gifts, but we can do them after the break. Because then I can actually ask you about them, Simon, maybe, because I just made them up.
Yep.
As...
Yeah, Nick has pretty much sprung this on you, but as I say, this just a quick thank you, Nick. This was the most entertaining 2-hour bus ride I ever had. Where it was like, oh my god, he made my imagination crackle, and I'm just there. He sent me a bunch of ideas. He was like, I'd like to do something for Valentine's Day, and I was like, yeah, and I've got a festival in mind, Sahastra, but I don't really know what I'm going to do. He gave me a few kind of ideas, and I was like, oh my god, and I pulled up my USB keyboard, and I pulled out all the rest of it, made my mini office in the top of the 500 bus, and I was just there like, oh my god, this is great! So, yeah, I apologize. No, I don't at all. He pretty much rewrote this episode. So, anyway, we will take our usual 10 minutes for a bio break and for your DM to get himself something other than white wine to drink, because
Yeah,
Nick
Yeah,
gave
that's
me this.
so-
It's lovely, but I need coffee now.
I
So
saw you drink, like I saw you eyeing the white wine bottle, and my
Yeah.
immediate thought was, oh no.
That was me
Actually,
going-
I think
that was me going, oh my god, this is 12.5%. So
I think that's actually that is Kate who gave us the white wine for my birthday.
Did you drink the red? Because I gave you
Yes.
the red.
oh, you gave me the
The-
red. In that case, Kate, thank you very much. This stuff is amazing.
Oh, is it? Good. I had no idea. I do not drink wine. I've never really gotten into it, but I sort of, yeah, but that does look like the pork. Yeah, funny. I picked them due to the nice picture. It worked. Yay.
Yeah.
I like, does it have a good label?
Like I do, Kate.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
look
Corinne-
which one is the nicest bottle.
Yeah.
That one will.
And which one's the nicest
Well,
bottle that I can
yeah,
afford?
fine.
Done.
I think this was just brought as part of the get together that we had. And I was going to use it. I'd forgotten about it, and I was like, I'm making risotto. Oh, I have wine. I pulled up the wine. I was like, nope, that's drinking wine.
Awesome. Right, let's go for our break and see you guys in about 10.
Yeah.
Yay.
And welcome back, everybody. So, when we left off, Cora had just opened a really touching gift from Farewell Barebones. A gold, or was it white gold?
White gold.
White gold locket that works like the psychic paper from Doctor. And as Cora looks at it, the images within the locket change for different memories. Some of them are preloaded by Farewell. So she sees herself and Enola. She sees some of the tender moments between. But she also sees things that she supplies herself. I described a moment between Enola and Farewell from a moment where the quasi-legal past of Cora / Tara allowed for some camaraderie as they brought medical supplies to Freetown, just outside of the city of Ostagar. The others have got other small items, minor enchantments, minor wonders from Farewell to show the love of friendship. They also have received items from Glory, from her enchanting, and are now able to use them. So we have a Cloak of the Bat, we have the armor that had an ability already but has now been enchanted with the Armor of Wild. We have a Shawl of Disguise, shawl of camouflage, really, because it gives advantage on hide checks, and so on. So, before we had the break, Kate, you said that you had some ideas for gifts to give the others, and I'm giving you pretty much free reign on this, so go right ahead.
Okay. Okay, everyone's done their gifts. I got some stuff too. Not as fancy as some of these. I can't enchant things and whatever, but anyway, okay, so Glory, I hand you a little parcel. All of the parcels are wrapped in a fabric that is quite earthy, and like it's clearly from Freetown, and Farewell will recognize that it's most probably been kind of marked upon by, like, it's got some embroidery and stuff, and it's that Taro's mother has been part of making this with her seamstressy thing. That doesn't really work for the thing, but I'm making it work. Okay, so it's fabric that she's got. Yeah.
Yes, very much so.
I saw that before Christmas, actually, that people were starting to make their parcels, wrap them in fabric instead, because it's more eco-friendly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
so instead of having glitter as something that goes into the waste stream, this is something that the people of Freetown have done out of necessity, but is actually something that's socially very important. In the same way that socially responsible businesses like Lush, for example, now give reusable wrapping shawls that you can use, and you get a gift in that shawl, you wrap a gift in that shawl to somebody else, it has a history, it's all really quite cool. The people of Freetown have been doing this for many years, so this, as Kate has just said, is an earthy coloured substance. It is boiled sackcloth, in fact. But the way that the people, and in this particular case, Cora / Taro's mother, has embroidered the edges of the sackcloth. So on the background of this really nutty brown colour, there are vines and little figures dancing. There's a fox on one corner. It's really quite beautiful. And that's what each of the parcels that Cora gives you is wrapped.
Yeah. So I hand Glory hers.
Oh, Cora, Laura, you don't have to do anything spectacular.
Well, that's good. It's not.
Ah.
Yeah, exactly. And you open it, and inside is. I don't know, like how elaborate to go with this. So it's, if Simon allows, anyway. It is a little, kind of like almost a mini waistcoat thing, like just quite a small little thing. Looks really plain, but if you try and put it on, it merges with what you're already wearing. It's magical, but it doesn't do anything, if you know what I mean. So if that's allowed.
Free reign.
So
Free reign.
it'll basically, it's something you can add that isn't a full outfit, but will enhance any outfit with whatever, a bit like my armor does. It'll enhance whatever you're wearing and give it an extra thing. And it's a bit Feywildy and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's what Glory gets.
The waistcoat has a set of patterns on there, and if you wear it over clothes, the waistcoat will dissolve, but the patterns will get transferred to the clothes. So it's a removable pattern, literally a removable pattern, and it kind of matches itself, cuts and the curve of the costume, and to a certain extent, depending on what Kate says, it will also adjust to color as well.
I feel like it should have something that adjusts to fashion as it changes, so that she can always keep up with the fashion. Like something like that would be something Cora would probably try to find for Glory.
Yeah, in lowercase a attunes to you. So
sure.
as you're dressing, it kind of has a sense of compliant fashion. You have a waistcoat of compliant fashion.
And then she hands a very small one to Aiden. And if Aiden opens it...
Thanks.
It's okay. And inside, this one is a very small little bottle that's kind of heart-shaped, but not like... really pointed heart shape. It's kind of like that sort of almost kidney shape sort of thing, but a little tiny sort of bottle, just sort of earthenware. Maybe that's sort of like a kind of similar deep red or maroon kind of color. So not like bright, but just and inside the bottle is whatever might be the best alcohol in the city, but it's tiny. I know you're trying not to drink, so this is there for emergencies, or to remind you that you don't need it, and that to remind you of us and the times we had, and you should come back.
Thanks.
You're welcome. It's really good though if you ever need. Anyway, and then to Eclipse. We'll hand one to Eclipse. And Eclipse will probably rip it open as quickly as she can. and inside is a short kind of dagger knife, kind of like a Scottish what they call dill. I can't remember what they're called. The little sort of like little daggery thing. Dirk, yeah. Something like the small one for the sock. But anyway, essentially just
that's
like
skin do.
So it's not really it can be used, but it's more sort of kind of decorative in a way. And along and at the end of the handle, the sort of like hilt bit, again has a similar sort of heart shape to it, and written on the handle is Juradan, if I've got that right, indicating that she always has the heart of Juradan with her, whether she like has it or not, you know. So that's what Eclipse gets.
Aw, thank you, Kora. It's really pretty.
We'll find the real one, but maybe this will help.
For now, this will help.
Yeah. And then hands one to Farewell. You're welcome. Enola helped with this, and inside you find I don't know what would be like. I think a bracelet's better because you see it. Otherwise, necklaces you don't see so much. So it's a small bracelet that is almost similar, that sort of white gold thing. But when you put it on, it's kind of like whole load of. It looks like a sort of woven strings of metal almost. But when you when you put it on, it starts to move, or at least look like it's moving, and it looks like the ripple of a river. It's that sort of white and blue kind of ripple of a stream that sort of basically you've got a stream going around your wrist. That matches that sort of changes colors and things as streams often do, and at times even changes into sort of almost vines and plants, sort of very Feywild sort of colors and things, but it's sort of like it changes with moods and with how you want it to look and things like that. I hope those are okay.
Yep, that's absolutely fine. So some of these don't look like they have mechanical effects. They do. So for example, having a constantly shifting piece of jewelry on your hand will definitely be impressive to most people that you meet. This is a very well made piece of jewelry, and the fact that you just wear it without having to flash it around or anything like that's clear that you wear it every day, that will impress people. So this is kind of like a reputation boost that I'll keep in my head.
It will also just to point out as well, because obviously a moving sort of shiny thing isn't great for stealth. The plan would be that it wouldn't just be blinging the whole time. Like if we were actually doing adventuring, it would sort of fade and go slower, or just sort of like drop. It's not gonna be like
you
beep
can
beep beep
hide
beep.
under my-
Over it.
Yeah,
I was going to say, I can hide it underneath my gauntlets. Anyway.
exactly. Yeah.
Oh,
It's not going to give any disadvantage.
That's beautiful.
It's all to do with flavor. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anything that anybody else would like to do?
I have more that I want to do, but
Oh, yeah.
I'm quite happy
Yeah.
to give you guys stuff to want.
Yeah, there's some Rodrigo stuff that I will insist I do this session, but other than that, I'm handing over to Nick because he's inspired me for this. Go ahead.
So, he sort of conspiratorially leans forward and goes, now, I know what you're all like, and I will not begrudge anybody if any of you do disappear off tonight. After all, it's a very special evening for all of us. It's apparently tonight is supposed to be the most euphoric of experiences should you go down that route. So,
Oh,
Best-
it is.
that's worrying. If any of you are free, though, this evening there is a bit of a fight planned in Freetown. Not a fight, but a fun fight. And I really hope you will all attend. It's one of my favourite parts of the whole festival. It's one of the best parts. He conspiratorially looks at Cora and will be like, still owe you for a couple of years back. But I figured that I've got a few things that I need to do around the temple, and out of curiosity, did anybody get any wood tokens? And he just looks immediately at Glory.
Oh, come on. She has a fucking pouch full of them. Let's be real.
I
Have a
don't
Probably.
know. I mean,
the
I
past
did not
years,
get any. I am very sad.
oh, maybe next year. I mean,
I do think this one will prove interesting.
This is something that's considered to be quite an overt thing in the festival, but this is very glory, so I'm not going to give Felicia a way to get to call it back. And that is, she pulls out and declares that she is interested in one particular token, and it has the heart and a little crown on top, little beautifully carved token. And yeah, by saying this in the middle of the tavern, she's saying, "I'm pursuing who gave me this token."
I mean,
Good for you,
Actually,
I guess.
this is D&D. Roll me a perception check.
Oh shit!
Wait, who?
my passive
What do you
perception is
think?
19.
Glory, but I will allow all of you to roll, actually. Glory just ends
sure,
up
why
getting a boost.
Natural one. Please be a natural one.
The opposite. It's a nat 20.
Okay.
Oh, it just had to be
So
there.
this is just for flavor to see if you saw it. So Glory, you can see about 4 different people are really disappointed that you have one of these tokens. And
Fair.
you watch as one person, it's the Triton girl that you slept with back in episode, I think it was 40
Alright,
something.
the girl I played in the one shot to retrieve Aiden.
Yep. Yeah, you watch as one of the Shacklemen, a Triton girl, steps up, gets out of her seat, and just walks the fuck out of the tavern. She's not pissed, but she realizes that she's wasting her time, and she's gone.
Yeah.
Rip.
Yeah. I wasn't planning on getting together with her after I played her anyways.
It's a little creepy anyway.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was about to say, having sex with your other character, it's a little creepy. So you do see that there are some other people. There's an elf, there's a human, and you also see another character. Give me an Arcana check, just quickly.
Boy. If that's not as well, it's plus a lot, so a 21.
21. You definitely see that one of the other people who's looking quite disappointed and has suddenly just kind of, their body language has changed from kind of drinking and laughing with their friends to seeing the token in your hand and crossing their legs and kind of sitting back with their arms crossed, very kind of like barrier body language. Sorry, I do body language a lot. Yeah, they've gone from being open and celebratory to barrier body language when they see you hold up this token. You can see they look like a member of the Courtesan Guild. They look like somebody that has been around Rachel quite a lot. But as you look at them, it's quite clear that they put an illusion in front of. You can't see through the illusion, but you recognize that they are using an illusion to change their form.
Glory,
Oh my.
would you?
Mhm.
I mean, of all people, just tonight. I mean, just one.
Mhm.
Just one.
Oh, darling, didn't I tell you before? Part of me traveling is, well, I need to find someone who can keep up with, well, life back home.
Oh. Okay. Oh, not just for pleasure then. Okay.
Of course not.
Cool.
Never been just pleasure. Though, I never say no to that.
Huh.
I think it's got more to do with the fact that potentially this one's pursuing her cryptically rather than, just kind of throwing herself at her.
You mean? Oh, okay. There's a glory in the chase kind of thing going on.
I think so. I mean, it's Who knows? But I'm pretty sure it's that. It's either that or she's gonna end up killing us all, one or the other, and I'm still not quite sure whereabouts the land move will be.
Oh, don't worry about that. Besides, your new clothes are almost done. Give it a few more weeks.
Oh.
So to
Yeah.
clarify, the anonymous letters and the tokens are a declaration of love. Whatever your definition of love is. Some of the others, they came here to admire Glory, and there may either just be an admiration side of things rather than true heartfelt love, or there may be even a admiration/lust part of it all. Let's just say the festival covers all eventualities, but the reason why you guys don't have, some of you guys don't have the letters, is that it might be that you have an infatuation, but you don't send one of these letters for infatuation. You send it out of the hope of love, very specifically the hope. There are people who decide that this is not the right time, that they want for things to grow more organically. This is more kind of, look, if I don't say it now, I probably won't have a chance to say it. And so this is the time. This is the time to make those professions.
So are we fighting then? Again?
Well,
Sorry,
it's
I'm not to distract from the
It's not-
tokens.
Oh, no.
I won't lie.
Please
I'm
do
just-
distract from the tokens.
Why?
But
Okay.
no, this is me, Rodrigo, out of character.
No,
No,
It's
Please.
out of character. Fuck
No.
you. Fuck you. I wouldn't
no,
say
we've
that.
got you. That is...
Don't look at me, I'm just a god.
You're just omnipotent. What can you do?
Does Aiden? Can we do an insight check? Does Aiden have a token he
Yeah.
hasn't revealed?
Oh,
22, you've got
that's
a
a
22.
huge insight. That's a huge insight.
But with the way he sort of reacted to like, please let's not talk about tokens.
Rodrigo,
I said that out of character.
Yeah. Let's see. Or either that or I'm gonna try a sleight of hand to see if he's got one in his pocket.
Oh, you get. Okay.
That is
Rodrigo, come on, what do you
I
got?
have never used my sleight of hand. I have roguey skills and I've never used them.
What do I roll? Do I roll deception? Do I roll perception for the sleight of hand? What do
I feel for both you and Aiden at the same time. So I'm gonna give you, right? Because this is something that Aiden would not let go easy, right? You've prepared for this shit. So
Yeah.
I am gonna give you.
More eclipse than Cora, but sure.
Yep. So it's Cora
Eclipse would
only
be
who gets to
a
do the
lot
check,
easier.
right? And Cora has to roll off against you rolling with advantage, and I'm going to give you take 10. Okay? So roll twice, and if both of them are lower than 10, the answer is 10. And then add your perception bonus.
Oh god.
And I'm just
Oh,
rolling
Well,
once.
Thanks, Matt.
Matt Mercer screwed you because you haven't got the
Yeah.
wisdom anymore. Oh dear. Okay.
Well, I've still
I've
got.
given you as much as I can.
I don't know
Okay.
which dice to
Okay.
roll now. This suddenly became really pressured.
Matthew Mercer, what have you done?
I love you, Matt, but god damn it.
Am I
God
am I
fucking
rolling?
damn it.
What am I rolling? Just a d20?
Sleight of hand, straight sleight of hand check.
Come on, be good.
Remember, she's
Oh.
got the lucky feet.
Oh,
She's
Oh.
got Halfling's luck.
Please luck.
that is a 25. Because I rolled 19. I have a 6 on a sleight of hand.
Oh my god.
It's a 17 for me for whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
So you watch as this little halfling hand darts into your pocket, and you've been pickpocketed.
Does he see it?
Cora,
He sees that?
Cora, you. No, he doesn't.
Yeah, I was gonna
Sorry,
say.
sorry. I'm telling the player, not the character. Yeah.
Right, okay.
So, Cora, you dip into Aiden's pocket, and suddenly you've got a coin round about the size of, and this is only going to make sense to Kate. I only found out the other day that Kate's the same age as me. Not telling anything beyond that, 50 pence piece. The old 50 pence piece.
How rude.
Yeah.
God, I can't even remember.
I didn't reveal Kate's age. I just can't say mine now.
I don't remember, but sure, it's a big coin, right?
Yeah, it's a big old.
Um,
I mean, considering
and is
that
this-
Kate looks like she's a lot younger than you, that's pretty rude.
Oh, that's cheeky for
player.
Simon now. We're all as young as the. we
I
feel.
don't think I look old.
She's a lady. She will be 25 forever.
Yes, I thought Kate was in her 20s. Shut up.
So did I.
It was only when Kate revealed it
So
to us,
did
I was
I.
like, fuck off, you are not that age.
Yeah, I must admit, when she said that, I was like, fuck off.
It's all the Vaseline all over this screen, like.
Moisturising, I think you're doing it wrong. But yeah, okay,
Yeah.
carry on.
What is so? You mentioned a coin, but we're talking about wooden tokens. So do I think this is the same thing?
Yeah, so
Yes.
you pull out a coin-sized, 50p old 50p coin-sized wooden token, and it has a raven that has been burnt into it very beautifully with pyrography. It may have even been done by magic. It's so precise that it may have even been done, you think maybe by maybe some variant of the prestidigitation spell. And with your score, if you want, you can put it right back into Aiden's pocket without him knowing.
Up to you.
Yeah. What
Well,
do I
this is
do?
just
What do
gonna
I
stick
do?
For friendship from now on, no big deal.
No, you don't know yet. You don't know yet.
I bet you don't know.
Yes, Rodrigo, this is going to affect our friendship. Hey,
Hey,
no
it's
big
the celebration
deal.
of the trickster god. She's a trickster god. It's part of the day. We're meant to play tricks.
Yep.
Okay, so I can get a good look at this, and I get a good look at it. I think I debate whether to keep it. I slip it back in his pocket,
Okay.
knowing where it is in case I want to get it again.
None of you guys, because everybody else only gets passive. Rodrigo got the extra bonuses because it was his pocket. Everybody else, they get their passive, and Farewell's passive is not 25. So, yeah, you
It's 20, you beat my passive.
yeah,
it's
you
20.
beat Farewell Barebones passive. Yeah.
That is
Impressive.
That's a big
Yay.
deal. That's a big deal. So as far as Farewell's concerned, he saw the most out of everybody. But what he saw is that you shuffled, and then you coughed, and then looked into your hand, and he was just like, "Oh dear, I hope she hasn't like snotted in her hand or something." And then you kind of went to, and then you were like, "Oh wow, that's a really beautiful raven." You put it back in your hand. You went to just kind of put your hands on your legs, kind of like you're just kind of reseating yourself or something. And as you do so, you right back into Aiden's pocket.
Anyway.
You don't want to talk about tokens then? Because you didn't get one? Are you sad?
Let me think about this for a second. No, I just don't celebrate the festival that much. I'm getting kind of bored. That's all.
That's fair. It's not as popular back home because, well, yeah, you can guess.
Too much free thinking.
Oh no! It's more the fact of destroyed marriages, past grudges, people doing it just to spite each other, and then the tricks just to spice it up.
And I should imagine in Atalzaran, what counts as a trick is really quite intense compared to Ostergald. In Ostergald, there is a specific trick that you play on someone. There's one traditional trick, and that's it. There's no kind of, well, put it this way: there's no scorpions, no curses, no.
Haha! I burnt your family, your entire family.
Surprise!
Trick
Yeah.
There's just one very harmless trick that is played in Ostergald, and that
What
is
is that?
Um,
What is the trick?
Nick will tell you.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Spoilers. Spoilers.
Okay.
Too early in the day.
But yes, the tricks that
Yeah.
Glory played. Glory's enjoying the intrigue part and the chase, as she always does, and the fashion and things like that. But there are certain parts of this festival that you feel don't connect with Glory in general. Yeah.
Okay.
Besides, you should have seen it a few years ago, but just before I left home, in fact, we had a few dignitaries, and there was this lovely lady from the White Dragon Court. Hope did not take well to that. Well,
Okay. Should we go wander? Like, what's the plan? Fight later? Do we need to sign up? I can't remember.
Are we like
I'm
in a-
sorry for.
You no. It's just showing up.
is it
Okay.
the whole
Just
dueling
showing
ground for the others' love and honor for the night?
Sorry, Eclipse. Sorry, Gloria. I missed that.
I said, is it like the usual dueling grounds for the love and glory and the maiming and destruction of the other party?
Good God.
You watch as several people look shocked around you, and they're like, "Oh my god, that's what you do in your home."
No,
Yeah,
no, whoa,
I'm also
whoa.
giving her a bit of stink eye.
Whoa.
What?
Okay, you need to promise me,
Huh?
and this is a serious promise, that no matter what happens to you from the moment that you step out the door till you go to bed tonight, that unless it threatens your life, that you won't melt anybody. Otherwise,
Oh no,
you
I
should
don't
stay
need to do
indoors.
that here. I've already noticed it. It was quite weird the first year away from home, honestly. No poisonings and no death threats, and no chopping off the other's limb to prove you're better.
No, I'm being really serious. I really don't want you killing people today, of all days. Please don't kill anybody.
None of us
Please.
want you to be
Please
killing
don't
any
kill
people
anybody.
today.
Just today. Tomorrow is fine. The
Yes,
next
yes,
day after
yes.
that, we can
Fine,
talk
very
about it.
well. I can
But not
control myself.
no killing today?
Besides, there are other pleasures to be had.
Look, this is us. We have not successfully gone more than 24, 36 hours without having to kill something. For the entire time we've all known each other.
Well, there
Ever.
was those few weeks we didn't know, we don't really remember that much of, but hey ho.
I
Other
don't
than
like-
that,
Yeah, okay, well that doesn't really count because we don't remember that. But all the other time,
I remember most of it by now, but yes.
so maybe less of the killy, more of the fun. Come on, the festival grounds will be beginning to open soon. There's going to be lots of things to eat. There'll be games and stuff, and we can do things. Want to do things?
Let's go.
Yes, let's go.
A
We
hot
should have a few hours at least.
Yeah, and then you can go find this, lady of yours.
Hey, a quick question before we leave to Simon. Have I heard anything from my family in the kind of the month downtime we've had? Because I've been assuming that Aiden has not heard from his family in the entire month up until now.
Right, so far what you've heard is mostly Vincente appearing in
Fun.
daydreams. Oh yeah, he's been a real fucking buzzkill for you.
Yeah.
So he will usually turn up in places of comfort to the point where you're kind of like, yeah, dude, you don't understand. Whenever you do that, I don't want to be anywhere near a sofa. I don't want to be anywhere near a fireplace. And it's usually is that wherever there's good food, comfortable seating, or normally a fireplace, and his kind don't usually relish fireplaces.
No.
Many of them end that way, and you'll look at it, you'll look away, you'll look back, and he's fucking sat there every time. Real pain in the ass. Even on the ship, there was one chair that you enjoyed sitting in. You look away, you look back, and that son of a bitch is there.
Gotcha.
He will normally give you a set of cryptic lines about how it's going, to the point where you have probably by now had a couple of run-ins with him where you're just like, just fucking say what you're gonna say, yeah? Typical kind of Aiden bluntness of, stop fucking playing with me, tell me what you're telling me. So what Aiden has, what Vincente has told Aiden is that the rest of the Canelm family so far have been tracking your mother. Okay?
Gotcha.
They found her. She has gone the way that some blood hunters go, and I'm not going to go any more other than that, because that's that's one shot number one. And they have
teasing.
And they have a plan of action to stabilize her. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
And
all right.
So not going to go any further than that on that subject. Vincente has mostly told you that there is a dark force that is growing within Ilaria. It's in the prime-material plane. It's come originally from the Shadowfell. It's part of a greater machination. Yeah, it is attempting something that a lot of people are attempting right now, and it's trying to get ahead of the game. As a result, this force is desperate. It's doing some very overt things to get ahead of the competition, and that's working in your favor in that this powerful being, is trying to compete with other dark beings to get to a particular prize. Okay?
Fair.
That's,
okay.
Out of all of his comments, that's as far as you've got. I'm not taking you any further than that. You're pursuing a dark being that, out of desperation and competition, has accelerated their plans to the point where they are too overt now. And this has been the opportunity that your family has needed to latch onto them and follow them.
All right. Okay.
You're currently taking out foot soldiers, lieutenants, and gaining all the intel you can whilst trying to sort your house out. And the rest of this will happen in a one-shot.
Okay. Thank you. I just wanted to know, anything like that, but...
Yeah, just an idea.
Yep. Okay. He does give increasing portents that you'll be leaving soon.
Okay.
Specifically, you'll be leaving at 5 to 11 tonight, UK time. So,
in light of that, shall we jump ahead to leave? Unless there's anything anybody wants to get through to the day.
Absolutely, there's no reason to dally. You walk through the city, and as I described at the beginning of the session, the city is in a form of celebration. You find out a few things on the way. First of all, that the families of Ostergold are showing family love by putting together feasts tonight. A lot of children, it's traditional that the children go out and get the various items, and then the parents cook them. The entire family get involved in this meal. They are walking backwards and forwards with sweetmeats and various items. It is another tradition within this tradition, and this is throughout Illyria, that normally the parents will send the kids out to get certain things, and the kids will not often come back with more extravagant things. So they will be sent out for vegetables, they'll come back with candy, effectively. They will they'll have to build together a form of feast, which is celebrated around about sundown. Everything happens kind of at sundown. There are some preambles. There's a lot of setup, like your letters and a few other things, the tokens. but everything tends to kick off. The thing that Farewell's taking you to is just before sundown, and everything else happens after. Okay, so as you go through the city, you see that a lot of families are preparing for this stuff. You do see a couple of things on the way, and that is you see Gaston Grimm, the renowned chef in Ostergald, being approached by a hobgoblin, a kind of well, she's actually a half hobgoblin, and she walks up to him, picks something out of her pocket, and throws it at his face, and he goes, "Well, I guess that's a no then." And you watch as a wooden token bounces on the floor and then goes down into a sewer. Yeah.
No.
She returns his wooden token as a ranged weapon. She literally flicks it in his face. Because he's a little shit. Gaston Grimm, I made as the most, well, not the most disgusting character. I've made much worse, but he's a little shit. He's an amoral, near cannibalistic little shit.
Let's move on. You don't want to see where this. Let's go.
More like that, huh?
So the rest of the
Shut
day, unless there's anything specific that you guys do in this one day, you'll be able to sort out other downtime stuff later on because of brevity and because of getting Rodrigo's scene in.
Yeah.
There is the day is yours, and between you all, what are you doing between now and around about an hour and a half before sunset?
Well,
Nothing
farewell.
specific.
I wasn't here last year for this day, so please show me what Ostergold has to offer.
So I assume everyone's started gathering now. They're all milling and talking. They're getting ready for it to kick off.
Eclipse have played many pranks during the day to lots of different to you guys, and just like you keep finding random traps everywhere.
Makeup or dress, it's fine.
Yeah.
Describe a few of them. Describe a few of them. I might get some rolls on the go.
Just. Oh, now I need to be creative.
I feel like a lot of them are just tapping on the wrong shoulder, and we fell for it so many times that we're just like,
Like 2 or 3 times in a row, and we still get it wrong because she's so like stealthy and dexterous, and even when we turn the right way, she's like
hiding.
And we're just like,
And
Oh
when
my
she's
God.
not doing that, she's using Mage Hand, because of course she is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's exploiting Mage Hand to its fullest.
But she'll do
And
things
there's,
like, tying people's
tripwires,
shoelaces together. There's so
like
many
glitter
more to do.
bombs. There's lots of glitter bombs. Like every time you like to open something, you have to check if there's a glitter bomb behind it, because somehow I managed to place it there before you opened it. It's a random door. I used Mage Hand to place a glitter bomb behind it.
I've got like green glitter matted in my hair from them going off so much. I'm just covered in green glitter all down here.
And by the looks of it, it looks like that Eclipse has gone the extra mile with this, and that you can see that the glitter is like shiny paper that she's meticulously chopped up. You have a feeling that you get this flashback in your head of her just sat in her room going he and cutting away at this paper, and you're going, you can buy glitter, you stupid cat.
That's not even glitter. That's fucking confetti by this point.
Yep.
Yeah, it is actually confetti.
Yeah.
And so
Oh
some
my
of the
God.
paper has got wet in Cora's hair, so she's kind of cut glittery papier-mâché side to her head kind of thing. Yep.
Oh dear.
Yep.
Yep.
So, I imagine that, like, I think on one side, Farewell's got Glory. On the other side, he's probably got Eclipse or
Mhm.
Aiden. It's up to you which one.
Yeah.
Who would be stood next to Farewell out?
Clips would be.
Okay. He will place a hand on both your shoulders and go, I can't wait for you to see this because this is going to be so much fun. And he casts light on both of you. And as he does so, he pushes you forward, runs backwards, and yells at the top of his voice using his thaumaturgy, everyone take flight! Glory and Eclipse have been tricked by Sahani's light! And runs like hell, and you turn as the crowd
dear.
turns on you, and you notice that each and every single one of them have got like little pouches in their hands, and they all start reaching back, and they will start lobbing stuff at you. As Farewell is just running for the hills.
What?
As-
It's dark now. It's dark now, isn't it?
No, it is about an hour before sunset. The light is kind of skipping off the clouds. The color has started. In fact, as the light reflects off the cloud and you get these beautiful purples and oranges, very much the
it's
type of thing that you get in...
Mincy. It's
No, it's not
dim light.
Mimsy. It is...
Oh.
It is it has a form of sunset.
You have
So-
light cast on you. You're never going to be in dim light again.
Yes, you. By the way, you are like two giant glowing fuck off orbs as you
And-
are just bleating with light.
What is
Basically,
in the pouches
Farewell-
that are being flung?
Just about to tell you. So, as Farewell is watching everybody and looking at the tension, he's there kind of occasionally looking at the horizon and making sure that he can't see the sun anymore. All he can see is the reflection on the clouds, and the moment that he can't see the sun anymore, he just touches both of you, casts light on both of you simultaneously, says the rhyme, and runs away like a school child. At which point, there are a bunch of kids. Cora, you recognize a lot of people here. The reason why he excluded you from the running is that this happened to you in a previous year. And you watch as these kids and big kids alike reach into these pouches, pull out some dust, and this dust is like flour, but it's glowing. And as they pull it out, their fists are covered in either pink, purple, or deep red glowing dust.
I regret my
And-
decision.
Right.
Farewell.
I missed this step to behind Farewell.
Yeah, you watch as Glory just evaporates. As
I
Turn
like to
invisible.
I like to
You-
think, I like
can
to
you-
think that Farewell.
You
Yeah,
still
I can just
glow!
turn invisible.
You still glow!
How can
Farewell,
you?
you're still using plate armor, right?
Yeah.
It's mithril half plate. It's got no weight to it
Okay.
whatsoever. I might as well
okay.
not be wearing armor. It makes no difference.
he can
It's
sprint at full speed.
Oh,
No
okay, because I
impediment.
like the idea of Farewell saying the rhyme and then going with the fucking armor rattling off.
Ordinarily, yes. Ordinarily, yes. But
Yeah,
this
I
stuff
forgot
is light
about-
as hell. Yeah.
No, I forgot about that. That's why I asked, but because the mental image in my head was so funny. I'm sorry.
So he's picked two people where one of them has a distinct advantage. I would like both Eclipse and Aiden to make dexterity saving throws.
Okay.
And Aiden?
At
But it
least.
was me and Glory. Not
Do you mean
Aiden
Glory?
and Aiden.
Yeah,
Oh,
it was Glory.
sorry,
yeah.
Glory. Sorry, yeah. In that case, Glory, you also make a dexterity saving throw, but because you misty-stepped, the DC is significantly lower.
I'm kind
Yeah,
of.
well, considering my dexterity, that doesn't really help. Okay,
kinda
it might actually
disappointed.
help.
I'm kind of disappointed because, shocking, Matt Mercer actually buffed my dexterity saving. Who would have thought?
Does a 16 save me?
It does have an effect. And Eclipse, what do you have?
I managed to close down my character sheet, so I'm just getting that up for a second.
Okay, sure.
40.
Well,
It's going to be something bullshit anyway, because it's a
Yeah,
dex
it's gonna
saving
be-
I mean,
throw.
if it's a
Right.
16 on the dice, and I'm pretty sure I got like +9 or +10, so it's either
Yeah.
a 27 or no 26 or a 25.
Okay.
yeah.
So the entire crowd send forward this dust as they throw this 15-foot cone of dust on you. And Glory, as you bamf out of the way, you realize that bamfing next to Farewell isn't necessarily particularly good because these guys are everywhere. Now,
Yes.
you do get an advantage to this, so you get a small amount of dust on you. And I would like you to roll me a d6, Glory.
Oh my, a d6. 1.
Okay. You kind of bamf next to Farewell, and you as you're there saying like, "What the hell have you done?" This tiefling girl who's hanging from a lamppost, well, not from the top of it, from the side of it, sees you, can't believe her luck, and she flings this pink dust in your direction. You have 1 level of glitter on your face.
Does this count as a failed dexterity saving throw?
It does.
Because
To a
I
certain
have a
extent.
ring of evasion.
Oh god.
Okay. Are you going to
Yeah,
use?
a ring of evasion.
Okay. If you use the ring, the dust comes towards you, time slows down, and you duck under this purple glitter. This pink glitter. And you evade it completely with not a single bit on you. I need to
Does
know
it
because
end up on Farewell instead, since I'm next to him?
I can't tell you that. Are you doing it or not?
Yes.
Farewell, do me a dexterity saving throw.
Okie dokie.
You don't get to
That's
set
a
me up.
6.
What's that?
A 6.
A 6?
Oof.
Roll me a d6.
3.
A 3.
Oh, God.
Okay. So 1, 2, 3. Your left hand torso ends up completely covered in pink glitter. And as the glitter hits you, it gets absorbed into your armor, the cloth, your skin, whatever it hits, it absorbs into, and the left hand side of you is glowing pink, whereas Glory would have only got a light glow. You have a severe glow on your left hand side, bright pink.
It's fine, because I reach into my pouch and I throw a handful of red glitter back at the girl.
Okay. Yep. Let me just do a quick saving throw. Oh no, she misses. She absolutely
Alright, I'm gonna
misses.
head out.
It's too late, dude. You're stood in the middle of like. It's
Like
kind of
glitter.
like you know the scene in like the Boondock Saints where they go, "It was a firefight." That is what you're in the middle of. It's just
Oh fuck.
hit
Oh.
the fuck off. You're not getting out of here alive, my friend, or at least not
Fucking
covered in
try
glitter.
me.
Nick,
Why
at
do you think
some
I brought
point,
you there?
Nick, at some point, watch the God Awful Movies podcast for Boondock Saints. It's hilarious. Anyway, so yeah, you douse this little girl with bright red glitter. She has failed and then some. I mean, I rolled with disadvantage and got a 2. And you have completely doused this little girl with bright red glitter. She's going to be glowing bright red for the rest of the festival, and you do a full body check on her as well. So she is head to toe. She doesn't seem regretful at all about this fact. So the other person was Eclipse. So Eclipse, how did you do?
25.
At 25. Yeah, so
And also, I have evasion if that
you
does
do have
anything.
evasion. You watch as, with heroic reflexes, the cat drops down to around about a foot on the floor. You remind yourself never to go and do a limbo battle. She goes down to literally no higher than a foot from the floor, spins on the spot, and then with a indignant "wow" She darts out from underneath the glitter. The glitter hits the floor and immediately gets absorbed into the cobblestones, and the cobblestones start to shine. A mixture of colors, pink, purple, and red.
Eclipse has just been using normal glitter on her glitter bombs, like homemade glitter, not
Yep,
this stuff.
not this enchanted glitter. This glitter, very specifically, is for this festival. It can only be enchanted in this festival, in fact.
There.
So,
Shall we
yeah.
dedicate the rest of the time to Aiden, I think? 20 minutes.
Well, we've got 20 minutes. I'm going to do another 10 minutes of well,
That's
I say 10 minutes or potentially 10 minutes for this. You spend a lot of time being pursued by the whole of Freetown, but you realize that you're not the only one. In this festival, you can see as couples, hand in hand, are running through the streets of Freetown and Ostergald, but you're in Freetown at the moment. I'm gonna just do a quick roll. Right, that is Glory. Glory, you managed to use your earring at one point to avoid another cascade of glitter. You duck around the corner, and as the glitter hits your decoy, and your decoy wavers and disappears, you stand there panting around a corner. You check, you've got like the tiniest bit of glitter on your right-hand heel, and it's the purple stuff, which is the stuff that glows the least, and you're like, meh, I can pull it off. And as you kind of catch your breath, you look across the alleyway, and there is a half-orc woman and a wood elf male who are just sat there, they're kind of leant there against the wall, hand in hand, going, you can tell they're really struggling. They've been sprinting flat out for quite some time, and they go, "Where's your partner? Did they get him?" Oh, we're gonna try for the coast. Whew. There's some boats down there. Maybe we can just kind of get down the coast or something. Oh, whoa! They take this seriously here. Where's your partner? And they say that to Glory.
Oh. I thought they would talk together. Partner? Oh.
Yeah,
I forgot
they
to
only.
mention that part.
Yeah, they chase people who are trying to get the blessing tonight. So that they're all lit up so that they can't hide. Whew.
Oh.
Although, and this is the wood elf speaking, he goes, although the glowing thing only really works in the forest, because you can't really hide in the forest if you're glowing. In the city, it's not so hard. You just need some decent chambers. Oh god, I need to work out more. It's been a long time since I used to run in the forest. I need to spend more time there. Whew, anyway, are you ready? And the half-orc woman, and you have a feeling that these are like around about 19 years of age. Both of them, including the wood elf. The half-orc goes, "Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do this. 3 streets." And he nods at her and goes, 3 streets. And they charge out into the street, and you can hear some of the citizens going, "Look, there they are! Get them! Get them!" And you can hear footfalls running down the street after, as people try to hit them with this glowing glitter.
I'd like to try and
At least
hunt.
it's not acid.
Nick loves Glory. Farewell is completely horrified by the very thought that she's just like, at least they're not throwing acid at one another. That's quaint. How quaint. Farewell, once Glory's obviously ran off and done that, he will be spending some trying to hunt down Cora. So he's deliberately looking for Cora.
Well, hunting specifically is a survival check. So you're tracking Cora through the town.
Cora's not necessarily that hard to find because she is grabbing bags everywhere she can and just flinging them at various people. She's having a ball.
Okay.
I was gonna say Eclipse is also grabbing and throwing, and if she can, she will do it invisibly because I don't think throwing attack.
It does in this case. It is an overt attack. If you're throwing this, even though it doesn't have a damage effect, it's considered an attack for purpose of action. So, in that case, give me some quick checks.
I can't do it invisibly.
I would like a survival check from Farewell. I would like a stealth check from Cora, and I would like a sleight of hand check from Eclipse.
Holy shit.
27 for survival.
Whoa!
Whoa.
I rolled a 3,
9 and I
which
rolled
I'm quite glad
19.
about because I didn't want. She's not trying to hide. Oh, I rolled a 3, but I've got a 6 on stealth, so 9. But that's
Okay.
fine.
And
25.
Eclipse? 25.
25.
Okay, sure. So, Eclipse, you suddenly, your cat-like eyes go bright, go giant as the hunt is on, and you are just stealing dust wherever you can get it. You realize a few things on the way. I mean, you're an arcane trickster. You pick up some arcane facts fast. So first of all, when you reach into the pouch to grab the glitter and put it in your hand, it doesn't absorb into the skin. It seems to know whether you're throwing it or if you're the target. Then when you throw it, it suddenly turns into an energy form and becomes a glitter illusion on the person itself. This entertains you for a fraction of a millisecond as the cat takes over. And next thing you know, everybody's trying to get the cat shiny, and you're just leaping from barrel to a set of crates onto a cart, onto a horse, onto a shop sign. You are parkouring the crap out of Freetown.
I think
and
Cora
you're
is
kind of
chasing Eclipse
taking-
as well.
Okay, we will get to that.
See
Because
ya.
I've got an extra roll for you in a sec, Cora.
Sure.
So you're there just leaping, and you become a bit of a main event, being that you're not shiny at all yet. And you realize the rest of Freetown have made it somewhat of a grudge match against you. Yeah?
Can't catch me.
You are
And
still
especially to
technically
that
glowing though, because
The cat must die.
light
Oh, yeah,
actually
she's still
lasts
got light,
for 1
yeah.
hour.
Yeah,
It lasts
so
for an hour.
invisibility is out, and literally your sleight of hand was that you, the glowing kitty, for 1 hour, you're doing things like doing rope-a-dopes. So you're doing the tapping on one shoulder, they go to look for it, you dart to the other side of them, steal their pouch of glitter, pick it up, throw a bit on them, and go, I'm refilled, and you do the more parkour, and then throw it at someone else. And you are going to be exhausted at the end of the day. You're going to get a point of exhaustion, not that it matters, but you are chased by literally an entire community. Right?
If it turns dark, I'll be able to start flying, which is ridiculous.
The funny thing,
And
the
I
funny
can
thing
triple
about
dash.
this is, the funny thing about this is this is the logical conclusion to Eclipse telling everyone about the horror Jordan.
yeah.
Revenge.
If
Yep.
I do find Cora, which I'm going to assume with the 27 that I do, the
You
idea
really
is that
do.
Farewell will want to sneak up behind her, and then as she's not looking, he's going to have 2 handfuls. Oh, someone's really on their mic. Just a moment. 2 handfuls of like the dust, and basically wants to smush it into each side of her face, and then just rub it into her head and into her face, like all over her face. Like
I'm assuming a different
you know,
color in each hand.
Oh, absolutely, and just
Yeah.
all over in her hair. I mean, just the whole 9 yards of just like.
Okay,
that.
okay, this is good. So, I'll start off with telling this part of the narrative from Cora's point of view. You don't know how he's doing it. He must have paid off half of frigging Freetown, because even with your urchin ability to be able to dart through the city at incredible speeds, every time you turn a corner, that bloody cleric is there. Every time. You end up doing everything. You end up using routes across low roofs. You end up ducking under things. You know, little kind of tips and tricks and doors that are never locked in gardens and things. You skip over a bunch of gardens. You manage to do everything that you can with your urchin background to get across Freetown. And every damn time that bloody fish boy is there waiting for you, no matter how you do it. It seems that he's just got you pegged. And I would like you, because you said you were stealing some dust for yourself.
Yeah.
Do me a sleight of hand check, please.
I laugh. This is a nat 1 compared to the key. It's like a million.
No, that
Yeah.
that is a dirty 20.
Okay. So as you leap out of one side alley, you do see this quite large guy. You think he's a friend of Robart. He's a human, large, kind of Arabic-looking guy, and he turns. There's this giant grin across his face as he kind of pulls a he's got like a headscarf that he wears that you know is from Ostran, and he turns, pulls it to one side, and goes, "Ha!" Reaches for his belt, and as he reaches for his belt, you go, "Sorry," and you grab hold of his pouch of powder, and as he kind of goes, "Hey," you flip a gold coin behind you, paying for it, and he catches it and goes, "Fair play, little one, fair play." And you you do like a power slide underneath a cart, and immediately carry on. You're there thinking, right, I've got some now. Roll me a d6, which is actually a d3.
A 3.
A 3. Okay, you've got the bright red stuff. It's not as bright as the pink, but it's a really deep red. It's like a kind of, it's a Valentine, yeah? And as you get to the a junction, suddenly you're there going, he can't, I'm ready for him, but he can't. And Farewell turns the corner. Again, you're like, how is he doing this? 27, what can I say? You're like, how can he do this? You end up skipping over a bunch of things, and you're like, okay, the small marketplace, the place that used to be the fish market, but now they sell like cloth and ribbons and stuff there. He can't know about that. He never went there. And you jump into this very small, as I say, it's a back alley that swells slightly in the middle. You call it the little marketplace, but it isn't a marketplace. The stalls are empty. The people are on their, are having a holiday for the day. They're doing the same thing that you are. And Farewell, I want you to make a stealth check. And
Okay.
Kate, make a perception check with disadvantage.
You first.
It's a 10 from me.
Ooh.
13.
Oh! So Kate, you're there and you see this hulking figure in the corner, and you're like, right, fish boy. And you reach into your pouch and you pull out this red dust. You stalk up, and just as you are about to throw the dust, the figure, which looks for all the world like a silhouette of Farewell, suddenly shimmers, and it turns into a tiny little gnome with a pair of shears and a measuring tape, and he goes, "I'm so sorry, Cora, he put me up." And you just feel this smoosh. What colour is Cora's face now?
It's pink on one side and then like the red on the other. And
Oh,
it's
wow.
all just like mushed in there. It's like it's like the most like craziness. He's just like loaded as much as his hands could carry, and he's working it into the scalp now.
So you've got love heart red glitter down one side of the face, bright pastel pink down the other side, both glittering like crazy. And as you're there trying to get the glitter on him, he's smooshing it into your hair, which you know is going to be. 2 colors.
Cora is rippling her hair color, just being like, yeah, color it is. Like, just it's like, well, I'm already many shades. So.
Now you do get an attack on Farewell. He's got a decent AC, although if you don't meet the AC, there's a certain rule here of what hits the armor and what gets evaded. So I would like you to do me a dexterity-based attack, a dex finesse.
You've got to beat a 19.
That was a 1.
Oh.
Ah, it didn't bounce to a 20. Yeah, okay.
Of course.
So dex. Yeah, that's just 8. If it's just normal dex.
With proficiency, because this is just you using your hands. It's a dex-based hand
Still only
attack.
12.
Yeah, it's still only going to be 12.
Okay. Just need a couple of quick things from Farewell. Are you wearing heavy armor or medium armor?
Medium.
Okay. And what is your dexterity score?
+2, 15.
+2, 15. Okay, right. So cool. What happens is that you don't get Farewell, but you do get a bit of his armor. You had the bright cherry red, the love heart red, and you don't get Farewell himself, but his breastplate now, as you're just smearing it over the breastplate, his breastplate now is this giant plate mail that is love heart red.
And that serves you right for filling my fucking boots last time. Now, do you want to go pour some of this down Aiden's trousers? Because that's all I've been thinking about since like 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Yeah,
It will be
where?
really funny.
Oh, he'll hate it. Let's do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And we are getting to the point where I wanted the segue anyway, and I was kind of hoping that something like this would happen, so let's do it. So you hunt Farewell down. You hunt Aiden down. And with your tracking skills, and again, for the sake of brevity, you find Aiden kind of trying to find his way back to the main city. And thanks to what you found out is an extensive network of spies, Cora. You feel cheated. As that's what I'm going to say the 27 is that Farewell has paid off half of Freetown to work with him.
And I'm totally going to be like... No, carry on.
He didn't pay them at all. He just told them that he wanted to play a trick on you.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, oh, I'm so in.
I've probably got people year after year. Well, like, I suppose that the last couple of years, like, so people are like, oh, yeah, we need to get our own back. So, yeah.
This reminds me of the Halloween episodes from Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Basically, yeah, exactly.
Thank you for that, by the way, for putting me onto that. But yes, this is so much like that. So, Cora, you get to see behind the scenes of how you were so hideously defeated before.
Yeah, I'm kind of like,
You,
this is kind of cheating, you know? You meant to...
yeah.
It's kind of cheating.
Every crossroads you get to, suddenly someone just breaks out of the crowd. A little girl here, a old woman there. Just pretty much the whole congregation of the Raven Queen, as they just step out, look at Farewell, and point down a direction because they look that he's with you, and they're like, "Oh, the other guy, yeah, he went that way," and Farewell just kind of tips them a wink, and there's a huge grin from ear to ear as the people of Freetown have completely betrayed you in the name of glitter throwing.
I mean, I'm
And
kind of
you can
impressed,
see
but
how-
still cheating.
Yeah.
Raven Queen says it's your face to be covered in fucking glitter.
First of all, if I remember rightly, one year you said you're just upset because you lost, so you can remember that one. Second, you're just upset because you lost, and third, that's a wonderful shade of pink on you, and you should totally keep that. Anyway, come on,
So you start going through the city, not the city, sorry, Freetown, incredibly quickly, and you're like, that's how this git did it. Look at it. We're just running. We're not even stopping. And you manage to get to the lower of the two gates, the one that's closer to the sea. And Aiden, sure enough, despite the fact that he now has this shawl that allows him to, and you can see that he's tailored it to look like some sort of beggar's shawl, which has allowed him to get through the city so far, of the fact that he don't help this poor beggar with glitter because it's in bad taste. You take a look at the stride. You can see a few things, and you go, "No, that's him. That's Aiden." You start to catch up, and both you and Farewell start dipping into these bags. You draw back your hand, and you let this glitter go. Aiden quite clearly has no idea. At which point,
I think we
there's a
totally
shimmer.
stealth round so that we could just from both sides.
Yeah, you know, this is more thought than should be given on a glitter attack, but you do a classic pincer move.
I want to color his. He looks too drab. We need to color that like nice coat of his.
Okay.
And as this glitter shoots through the air, two huge clouds about to hit Aiden, there is a shimmer in the air just off to his left-hand side, and in what would be a Joe Satriani or I'm trying to think, Jimi Hendrix level power slide across the floor is this figure which hasn't fully materialized yet, and as the glitter comes up, they flick their hand up, and the shield spell gets between you guys and Aiden. And standing up in her bleach white hair, her alabaster skin, the piper's jacket with the double buttons down the side, the leather trousers, the boots coming up to the full shin, is Olivia Storm, and she turns to Aiden. She turns to Aiden. Her eyes suddenly flare with arcane energy, and she goes, "Let's make sport of this, shall we?"
I cast Hold Person on Aiden.
Sure. What level are you casting it at?
Fuck it, 5th.
Oh, this is
Fifth
ridiculous.
level.
5th.
Well,
Which
that
means
means you get
technically-
5 people. That means
Yeah,
you get 5
so-
people.
I will get both of them, and I don't care if I don't get anybody else.
Okay.
Okay.
You see, as Olivia, as she sees what you're doing, Olivia goes like this with her fingers, creating with her fingers the traditional rune. If Glory was here, she'd see it. The traditional rune of counterspell, but she only used the level 3 spell, so she has to do an Arcana. So let's try for this.
Why do I have to roll?
Wisdom save.
She rolls at first,
Wisdom
so
This is so
God
much
damn it,
fun.
Matt.
I said wisdom save. How do I?
you watch as the whole person. Aiden, you can feel the arcane. It's a divine energy starting to lock your muscles, and with a gesture, just immediately, you're surprised at the speed. Olivia goes like this, and the spell fizzles as she counterspells it. Literally, I rolled a 12. She had a +3, and she managed to counterspell it because it's a level 5 spell, and the DC was 15. And she grabs hold of
Okay.
Aiden and says, "Run." And even though this is only for
Right.
glitter, she darts with you, and she grabs hold of your hand as she does so.
No time to think. Fuck. Let's get out of here.
She gave him a token, didn't she?
Yes.
That's the reason why he didn't want to talk about it. And he's like,
Would she have a raven token?
Behind you guys.
Which-
Eclipse just pops up behind you guys. and
Whoa!
says Yes. And then
Whoa!
walks away.
I throw glitter at nothing as she leaves.
And me. I just like that. Both of us turn around and
The
go,
cat must
You just
die.
see this poofy tail. You just see this poofy tail go like that as the glitter just starts to descend.
Would Olivia have a token that has a raven on it? Because I did spy in his pocket, and he had one with a raven on.
You don't know. The tokens are made by the person in secret as a tradition, so you don't know if hers would have a raven on it. So you watch as Olivia and Aiden bolt. Olivia
I like to imagine, by the way, that Olivia, being Olivia, is running in the most like graceful or professional way possible.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Aiden is running in the most cartoonish like.
He's a bumbling fool.
Yeah, Olivia is grace
in that case-
personified. Yeah.
In that case, Farewell now has to run like full on T1000 style with like the knife.
Just glitter flying from his hand.
Give me a moment.
Doing so, yeah.
Give me a moment. I have the perfect thing.
Oh, do you have a gift?
Eclipse is like running
I
around
do have
the
a gift.
rooftop,
I
so
do
she
have a
has-
gift.
Okay,
She
once you
is
finish
ready to
sending
throw
your
on
gift,
these
Aiden,
guys as
I
well.
want Aiden to do a either athletics or acrobatics, your choice, with advantage because Olivia is using arcane means to stop the glitter getting on her, and she's trying to run interference, so she's doing the help action, and I would like both Farewell and Cora to do, again, acrobatics or athletics, your choice, against him.
I
I didn't know if you heard, Simon, but Eclipse is also chasing Aiden at this point, but from the rooftops. And I do want to say I have the option that's dashing as a bonus action, so I can get to them all quicker.
Sure,
Yeah.
this is more a narrative check, but that's
Perfect.
absolutely fine.
Cora is casting Hold Person.
Oh, okay.
Okay, sorry, I
Seeing
got
Cora-
distracted.
And seeing Cora do that as well, I will also cast Hold Person again at 4th level. So I will let Cora's go first, and then mine will immediately follow.
Wow,
Okay,
you
question.
really got it in for them. Okay, so in that case, sure. So let me just describe the scene because it's one of the last scenes that Aiden had. So
Yes.
Aiden, you watch as behind you, you can see two different casts of the same spell.
I hope we're not going to be
As,
traumatized that he leaves after we've chased him around.
As Farewell suddenly gestures in front of him and points a fucking obsidian dagger in your direction.
Oh my god!
Right?
It's my
And-
spellcasting focus.
Yeah,
need
you watch
it.
as purple lightning shoots along the length of this obsidian dagger, which I really love this effect because so far this obsidian dagger has been nothing but mystery and portent, and now he's using it for fun. Cora, in counterpoint to that, Cora just kind of looks at you, and as she does so, Cora's eyes, not the whole eyes, but just the iris. You know that Cora has. Kate, what color eyes has Cora got?
She's kind of got bluey, greeny, kind of slightly swirly, look like a deep pool almost.
So
Nice.
what normally is a blue-green, as she gestures in your direction, and it is, whereas you've seen Arcanists do very precise motions, you can see that Cora just flicks her fingers at you, and as she does so, you get a moment of a flash of flame in Cora's eyes. It's like this beautiful...
He's running away. He probably doesn't see any of this.
As
Or
you
it's just terrifying him.
So, as both of them are doing this, you've got Cora flicking her fingers. You've got Farewell smiling but gesturing this obsidian dagger in your direction. And you kind of, this is very much bullet time for you. Your blood hunter senses have kind of gone into overdrive because, it's not combat, but it's adrenal. And as you do
Yeah.
this and you're kind of checking out your surroundings perfectly, you look up and you can see that Eclipse of the Moon on top of the rooftops has gone quadruped cat. She's not
Oh
using
god,
two
that's
legs,
terrifying.
she's using all four. as she's just there, and she's going ridiculously fast. She's slapping the floor with her hands, and then her legs are going behind her like a cheetah, and then slapping the floor with her legs, and then with. It's incredibly fast, and you're like, "Fuck! These guys do not mess around when they're having fun." And you're darting through the city, and if it, fact, that weaving behind you is Olivia Storm casting shield spells and all sorts of other shit, you would have been got long ago.
Question, because I was distracted for a bit.
Yeah.
Didn't you tell me to roll something?
Yes. I want athletics or acrobatics. Your choice.
Come
Jesus
on.
Christ.
At least let him make the wisdom save.
Acrobatics?
I mean,
Oh yeah,
God,
no,
there's
that's
so
all
many-
on the stack. So to use the
It's
magic
like-
terms, all of this is on the stack. Yeah.
It's like there's no
All
way.
right.
to do both.
Alright,
We don't get-
okay. I'm gonna do my wisdom save. If I fail, I'm personally blaming Matt Mercer. Fuck you.
No.
Um,
Do your athletics or acrobatics save
Okay.
first.
Okay,
check,
acrobatics then.
Come on,
Fuck,
bro.
that's bad. That is 11.
Okay.
Um,
So you're running as best you can, but this is a unique situation for you. Normally, you run
however,
in, not out. Yeah.
because I noticed Eclipse going full on feral, and like you said, this is full on panic mode. I bite my lip as hard as I can to get some blood out, and I'm gonna use my reaction to use Blood Curse of the Eyeless on Eclipse.
Absolutely, absolutely. So,
Nope to that.
Do I do a save? Do
So-
I?
well, we'll
no
find
save.
out in a minute.
There's no save.
There's no save. It's a disadvantage, isn't it, or is it blinded?
Yeah, it's this. This is mostly for narrative purposes because I don't know if she's
Yeah.
Okay.
making an attack,
Sure.
but I am using Blood Curse of the Eyeless on her.
She will be in a minute
Okay.
because she's trying to get ahead of you so she can basically become a glitter. So before that though, because it's relevant to her success, is you end up grabbing hold of two instances of a whole person. Now Olivia can only go for one of them. The first person to declare was Farewell, and
Cora.
so he's
No,
going
it was
for-
me, and they're running away. I'm doing it when they can't
Cora.
see, and therefore she can't necessarily stop me. That was
she
the
can
plan,
still,
anyway.
She still gets her reaction, unfortunately. So,
Sure.
But only one
Cora, what-
reaction, and the
I-
family comes right after.
what level are you using?
I have to use fifth.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the
So I'm
one-
trying to stop them both. Ah,
Oh,
screw you! I
It's
had a 18
Fine.
attack. Damn.
fine, no, because
So-
she burned her reaction and mine goes off.
So basically, what happens is that as Cora gestures and her eyes suddenly flare with Summer Court magic, you watch as Olivia turns around on the spot and in midair suddenly just makes this sign again. And she does it just for like a millisecond and breaks the spell. But then as she does that, in a epic moment of teamwork, Farewell gestures over the top of Cora with the dagger. And you can't prevent that. Both you and Olivia have to make wisdom saving throws against what DC now?
18.
Oh, fuck off. Matt, if you're looking at this, I blame you.
But if you are looking at this, we are very much very
yes.
grateful and
Grateful.
honored. You
Oh,
know.
what is her plus, Simon? That doesn't tell us anything. It's 15. The AC is 18.
Yeah,
DC is
so
18.
Olivia has only a +2.
She
so-
fails.
And I got a 10.
So,
and thus the great glitter run of of Sahasra 2020 comes to a conclusion where, as the teamwork of Cora and Farewell comes to its fruition, you watch
Have you ever seen those NFL games where, like, the quarterback's on his own and then out of fucking nowhere a linebacker just sacks the shit out of him? Like, I imagine that Farewell's going so fast and, like, momentum is carrying him that he's so determined. Like, it's his singular focus. You know, as much as this guy likes to pretend that he doesn't like it, he knows that he loves it and that they love him, and he's just going to hit, for no better term for it, hits Aiden as hard as he can and just starts dousing him, like almost waterboarding him with dust. It's just like,
And I'm like, wait, and I Cora, whereas is going to go to Olivia and face paint her like really nicely, like give her kind of cool glitter and like streaks in the hair and stuff, and like, you know, like markings. So she's like 70s disco, like amazing, like the white hair and the thing.
Glitter at all of them from above.
It's just shattering down. Yeah, it's just glitter is raining down on it.
So Aiden, you get so close to those gates, man. You get so close to those, and suddenly you just feel your muscle lock, and and you can see that Olivia is locked up right next. And the first person to hit is actually Eclipse, because Cora and Farewell both had to cast the spell, and all you hear is the sudden bestial, but still light, kind of like a cat growling.
I imagine she's laughing her ass off.
Yeah,
no,
and
she's laughing her ass off. She's
yes.
enjoying
and
it.
she leaps from the rooftop. This puffed up cat. You know, you can see the fur is standing on end. She leaps from the roof, and as she comes down, she's just got 2 fists full of this glitter that she's stolen from someone. And she gets both of you, and I'm going to go with Nick's analogy. She pulls this flying touchdown on both of you. At that point, it goes immediately into the next initiative. You two are just locked up, and even before you guys get a chance to shake off the whole person, you watch as Farewell comes in, and it's dramatic once again. as again, this flying touchdown, as you just see him come in, he's got a huge wad of the glitter in his hand.
Please tell me that he takes down Eclipse at the same time and manages to get her covered, because she'd gotten away with it. But I think it's just like the
dexterity saving.
If she's on top of Aiden and then.
Oh, and it's fun. It's fun. Do a dexterity saving throw with dis.
Yeah, but she has like +10.
She does. She's super dexterous.
And evasion, which
Yes.
applies to all dex saves.
Yeah.
Which is just so much of cheating.
It's obscene. But also, while you guys
Also,
were doing
I am
this,
lucky.
you forgot
I
about
am lucky.
Glory.
Oh yeah, what is Glory doing whilst we're all clustered?
Yeah, where's she been?
I'm gonna get to Glory at the very last thing, so I'm gonna have the last part with Aiden, and then I'm gonna feed Glory, because Glory gets to be next session.
Nice.
I'm
So-
gonna
Glory
use
has a
8
hot
point of
take.
lucky.
Oh god, yeah, I have a hot
Be covered in glitter.
Ah. So that's a natural 20 and a 17. I will take the 17 for a 26.
Okay.
So, Farewell, you douse both Olivia and Aiden, but that bloody cat, it's almost like you can see it in bullet time with your perception.
Hold
As
person
you're
on the cat.
Yeah. Wisdom saving throw, please, Eclipse. The other two are being held by Farewell.
It's like, not yet. You don't get away with it.
I am really sorry, Cora.
No!
That's a 17 on the dice. That's a 17 on the
What's
dice.
your
And then
plus?
I think it's +3.
Ah,
Yeah, that's a 20.
Dirty
Yeah,
20.
she's wisdom based because arcane.
damn you.
Actually, no. I have +0 in wisdom. It's only 17.
18 DC!
We got the cat!
Oh, Cora
yeah,
is
so,
totally doing the same. She's gonna stripe her like a tiger or something, like just in like purple glittering like tiger stripes
Oh,
and
yeah.
shit all over.
Farewell's coming over. and
Glowing
he's
purple tiger.
drawing-
Low
I
throated
am all
growling
about
from Eclipse.
He's gonna start drawing like pink giant hearts on like all over her, and like, and he's gonna try and give her like a giant pink mane as well in just this dust. Oh, and he's definitely pouring like half a bag down Aiden's trousers as well, and then like shaking his legs.
Sure. So they're holding all three of you, and Cora and Farewell know full bloody well that this spell does not last long. They go in
Run.
for the strike. After betraying Eclipse, who was on their side.
She can't get away with it. We're
purple
all
tiger.
absolutely covered in glitter. She
Covered in
cannot
it.
go away dry. It's like
Exactly, yeah. She nearly did. I mean, she got close.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, she evades you to stop, and with a grip of Cora's hand, I mean, literally the gesture that Cora does is that she just makes a fist in midair, and suddenly this cat that's moving like liquid. I mean, it's so smooth the way she's evading, and just she goes from being like completely untouchable to just pausing almost comically, almost in midair, but she's just kind of balancing on her feet, and you just go in for the kill, and you're like, yep, here we go, you get to. And you watch with your kind of paralyzed muscles, you watch as Farewell and Cora, laughing, glowing themselves, charge down a side street, and
high-fiving as well.
Oh yeah,
Totally
high-fiving,
high-fiving.
You watch as a little girl pokes her head out of the alleyway, giggles, and then runs back down the alleyway after them. One of Farewell's recruits. The first person to get freed from it is Eclipse, and for narrative reasons, Eclipse just kind of hisses, leaps up onto a shop awning, and then up onto the shop sign, and then onto the rooftop. And you hear something along the lines of, "You're going to get it, Cora," as she darts along the rooftops, looking for her quarry. Thankfully with disadvantage because Beowulf's paid off half of the shantytown. But the other two who have had a different spell, your muscles start to relax, and you see something out of Olivia that you haven't seen. She collapses to the floor, and this laughter comes from. You've never seen her laugh. She gets up as your paralysis ends. You fall to the floor, but she catches you, and she says, "We tried our best." And you have one of those awkward silences. She looks you in the eye and says, "I think it's time." The hunt.
I spit some glitter just to the side, and I go, those motherfuckers don't know I'm allergic to this shit, and that's why I wanted to avoid it. And I have like you can hear he has a very stuffy nose.
Nice. And very
there's a farewell voice in the back of your head that says, "For not playing along."
There's an awkward silence as Olivia looks you in the eye and says, "I think it's time." And she looks beyond your shoulder to what seems to be the last of the dusking light. And as you look at this, Aiden, you can see that the colours are starting to fade from the clouds now, where the sun was hitting it before, and you were getting yellows and oranges and purples, more in the range of pink. The only thing you see now is a midnight blue and a dark and moody purple mixed with grey. And at that point, you can hear in the back of your head this sonorous tolling. This the and you know what you have to do.
I get up. I help Olivia back up. Right? And I turn around and imagine that my dear old family is already waiting.
You can see that a very faint archway peaked at the top is in front of you, almost like the shape of a large pair of double doors.
Are you not even gonna say goodbye to us?
It's Aiden.
It's
And plus,
Aiden.
it's not goodbye.
Yes.
It's till next time. We know that.
Well,
Or at least tell us that
No.
he's leaving.
no use running away anymore, I guess. And I start stepping towards. I start walking towards the gate.
The closer you get to the gate, the more real it seems. What seems at first to just be a strange anomaly of the light, a peaked archway, 10 foot wide, ends up becoming more real. As you approach, the outskirts of the archway starts to have a mottled pattern, much like stone. Small lines appear within the archway, then appear to be planks of wood, crossed by thick iron bradding and beams. A pair of
I turn-
circles then appear in the middle of the archway, and they are two large ringed handles. By the time you get around about 5 foot away from the doors, they are a ghostly pair of large double doors that you would expect in any large dungeon or castle.
I open one of the doors, but I don't go in. I just open it. I hope that doesn't do anything.
As you open the door, all that's beyond is darkness. It's not the darkness of the void, like Farewell, but you can see a stone floor covered in cobwebs and dust that seems to go into a deep darkness.
Mhm. I look at it. I give a deep sigh. But then I turn around. I take the coin out of my pocket, and I roll it. I roll the coin on my knuckles, and then I toss it to Olivia.
Olivia,
And
yeah.
And then I say, "Coming?"
Without looking, Eigen Canelm walks in to the Dusk Hold, the castle between the realms, and off to his new adventures. Olivia looks at her token, puts it in her pocket, looks back at the city of Ostergal, smiles, and walks into the dark. A few minutes later, a straight, long, raven-haired girl with alabaster skin, wearing leather armor, a rapier by her side, looking very much like Aiden, and an older man with salt and pepper hair steps out, looks around, nods to each other, steps back inside, and closes the door. The archway fades, and the dusk hold disappears. It can only appear at dusk. Aiden goes off to new adventures, and is no longer part of the Benefactor.
Yay! And he goes off covered in glitter!
And it's down his pants as well.
I am a little bit. I'm a little
Our
bit
ship
disappointed. I have to say,
failed!
Yeah.
I'm a little bit disappointed that we didn't get to say, like, the characters didn't get to say goodbye as a.
That was
because
deliberate.
I did really want.
Yeah.
That was deliberate. Yeah.
I really wanted that.
It's
We'll
two reasons.
find a
First,
way
it's
in
Aiden.
one shots.
Second, it's not good.
Yeah.
And not just that.
I mean, still.
We'll
you can't-
find
even-
out.
Even if we're leaving for a while.
Aiden knows Farewell, and now that Farewell knows him, he can always send him messages.
Oh, God.
Jesus Christ, Nick.
Hey, dude.
Trust me,
What
Glory
else am I
has
gonna spend?
access to an entire division of scryers through her.
I know
Oh,
scrying now, and
she
I've never used it.
cannot hide from us.
I've got scrying as well, and not just that. I mean, what else am I going to spend a third level spell slot on? I'm not going to use it
Yeah.
on Revivify on you lot. I mean,
Yeah, you don't care.
I'm blowing it all on sending, and it's purely going to be messages to Aiden, like constantly, and it'll always be like,
Oi,
"Why
like,
haven't you replied?
where did you
Why haven't
go?"
you replied? Why haven't you replied? Why haven't you replied? Why haven't you replied?"
I like the fact that you can have on Skype Business, certainly you can have things like in a meeting and things like that, but you can also make statuses, and I have a feeling that you're going to be sending spells to Aiden, and all you're going to get back is a state fighting a flame skull or something like that.
Yeah, Aiden can't come to the phone right now. He's kind of busy.
I'm
He's
kind of
currently in-
busy dealing with an undead horror. Please, can we leave this for later?
Aiden is currently in an undead quasi-state of the plane of existence. Can you please leave a message after the scream? Thank you for doing the extra half an hour to make Aiden's exit damn near perfect. Thank you. And for you, Rodrigo, I nearly called you Aiden because you've been Aiden so long in all my notes, all my writings,
much.
and all the rest of. And you still are, because this is not the end, as I say. I'm gonna say for the week in, week out that you've come in, contributed story, and really played such a well thought out character. Thank you. It has been an absolute honor to tell a story with and be able to do it. And under other circumstances, we would be, regularly telling stories for to come. As I say, though, this is not the end. So we will be meeting up with Rodrigo as and when we can to do some pretty crazy rampant one-shots as Aiden just gets into deeper and deeper and deeper trouble. The intention being that the meta story of the Canelms is going to get a little higher, a little crazier, a little brilliant to plot compared to the week in, week out that we do at the Benefactor. I want the one shots to be kind of slightly rompy, as in, you go in and things are just fucked up, and we're just going to go through the most crazy undead situations as the Canelms walk nonchalantly or apathetically, I can't tell which, into the worst horrors that I can imagine that have an undead theme. So keep a lookout for that. It will be coming, but for now, I can say on behalf of all of us, safe travels. Enjoy Australia.
I'll try if I don't die.
It's a beautiful
Send
place.
pictures when you arrive. So
Yeah, pictures on social media. We will retweet those pictures of things that you're seeing in Australia through at games_neutral. And the main thing is you're going out there to be happy. There's opportunity out there, and there's a very special person out there as well. So, yeah.
We will miss you, dude.
I will miss you too. I will miss you all too, and I'm going to miss playing Aiden. He is by far my favorite character to play, and it feels kind of bad to shelve him for a little bit. But yeah, I'll try. I'll emphasis on try to get some one shots going and be back for the stream every once in a while.
And even for the one shots that Rodrigo's not in, anything that has an undead theme to the to Illyria now, it will either have Raven Queen or a Canelm twist to it. So even if it's not Aiden turning up in person, it will be a Canelm character that will be the monster hunters because they are the undead monsters of this world. And
Yeah.
so there will be times when I may actually just turn around to Rodrigo and go, "Hey, dude, when are you available to just record this scene for me?" Because he'll record like a briefing or something like that of a Canelm
Yeah.
of some description. It could be Aiden comes up and tells you stuff. So it could be that Rodrigo will play Aiden or Hector or any of the others because a lot of the family did still survive. They were reduced down to about a 20th of their number, which is
Yeah.
decimating, but they are still out there.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah. Plus, I still have a character creation addiction, so there's that too. So.
There is that too.
And
So-
for the Benefactor in general, I created the Duskhold because, well, first of all, I thought it was cool. But the second thing is that it does mean that who knows, at some point in the future, when the chips are down, when the greatest danger is posed to the group as a whole, they may hear the sound of tolling bells and a sudden archway appearing in the.
Yeah.
So
Anyways,
we will see.
I think this stream has been going on for a bit now.
Yep. Yep, we've got to put
Not
Felicia
that
to
he's,
bed.
not that he's
Yes,
too
please.
uncomfortable
I
being.
have a
Yeah.
No, not at all. Why
in
would you say that?
approximately,
No,
but
no.
11 hours. That means I need
Oh
to
yeah,
be
you've
up
got your
in
train.
9.
Yep.
Alicia,
Yep,
Okay,
you
I
need
so-
still
to
have
sleep.
like 9 hours, so if we
Yes,
quit
yes,
before
yeah.
1, it's fine. I should get my
But
8
I,
hours.
yes, you've got an exam tomorrow, so we are going to cut this stream off now.
No, the exam was today. Tomorrow I have a train ride because I'm going
Okay.
to my cousin who is turning 2, and you know that it's
Oh, wow.
important to
Okay.
visit the potato.
You must visit Potato. This is true.
Yes.
So, for the viewers, thank you very much for following us. Thank you very much for watching this chaos. Thank you for those in the future who YouTube as much as I did, especially considering this is not what I wrote first thing this morning. We love you all. Take care of yourself. Stay in contact. Send us messages and things. We will reply. And good night.
See you, everybody.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye.